92, Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM Sports Station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Rob, I have 3 headphones, and they all look like each other. And I picked up the first headphone. They didn't have a headphone jack to it. I started panicking. I then went to the second headphone. Did not have a headphone jack. Now I'm scrambling. I look at the clock. It's 2. I know Rob is yelling at me internally. Where is he at? Of course, it was the third set of headphones that had the headphone jack. I found it. I apologize. I'm sorry. I don't think I've ever been late. I think technically I was late for work today, even though I've been here since 7 o'clock. I apologize. That's 100% on me. My name is Carrington Harrison. Happy to be here. Rob is here. Headphones acquired. Headphones secured. Taking you up until 6 o'clock today. We got a lot of Chiefs football to talk about. Now, Rob, I did not hear this. Have you heard this? Travis Kelce spoke to the media today. Now, we might have to play this in its entirety because you know what Travis Kelce's not going to do a lot of this season? Local media availability. He might sit down with an Aaron Andrews. He might sit down with the Rob Gronkowski, a Stephen A. Smith, a Shannon Sharp. You know what he's not going to do too often this year? Take questions from Vahe Gregorian. I just don't really think that's going to be in the day-to-day life for one Travis Kelce. He spoke with the media earlier today. We'll get to what Travis Kelce had to say. We got a lot of football to talk about today. I created a couple of AFC West parlays. I want you guys to tell me if you think the parlay is going to work. You know what? Yesterday, there was a text message that was sent that it resonated with me. And the text line was, why don't you guys sound more hopeful and optimistic about the Kansas City Chiefs? And I was like, you know what? I don't want you guys to think that I'm not hopeful and optimistic. We got to talk about the storylines. I got to give you guys how I feel. Rob, today, I want us to have a series of conversations that are only faced with best case scenario. Not what you think is going to happen, not what you think is likely to happen. We'll go through some of these position groups on the Chiefs, and I want what your best case scenario is. We'll do that as the show progresses. My name is Carrington Harrison. Happy to be here. Rob Britton here again, taking you up until 6 o'clock. I do want to take a 1,000-foot view of the AFC as we get things going today, and then we'll hear from Travis Kelce coming up in a little bit. But before we get into that, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. Number three, and most importantly, I need you to remember that the open of the show is brought to you by our dear friends over at The Other Place. Go stop by, see our friends over at The Other Place. They have 15 things on their lunch menu, all of it priced at $8.99. So go in there, get yourself a little bit of lunch, and stop in and see our friends over at The Other Place. All right, Rob, the reason I want to start the show this way is doing so much national radio over the course of this summer, you start to pick up on tendencies, or you start to pick up on how the public outside of Kansas City feels. So, Rob, you know what I decided to do today? I decided to put the contending teams in the AFC into 4 separate categories, and I want to go through these categories for you. Now, the first category, I still think is the Kansas City Chiefs. I still believe that the Kansas City Chiefs dominate conversations. And in the same way that many of you expect Kansas City to bounce back, I think the general public expects Kansas City to bounce back. We've talked about it. The public is not a believer in this Denver Broncos team, not a believer in the Los Angeles Chargers. Well, there's only one team left to believe in, and that team is the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe that this has been a theme throughout the course of the show, and I also have picked up the perception nationally I think is the same. The Chiefs have to show us that they are still the Chiefs. Now, this is something that we discussed over the course of the summer, but the Chiefs had a reign of terror over the other 31 teams. Things have kind of slowed up a little bit for Kansas City, but there is still great respect for who the head coach is in Andy Reid. There is still great respect for who the quarterback is in Patrick Mahomes. And I think everybody is just looking to see at the AFC, are the Chiefs still the Chiefs? Was last year just a blip in the radar, or was last year an indication of serious problems within the Kansas City Chiefs? So I do think that the public outside of Kansas City is open to the same mulligan that you guys are when it comes to Kansas City, but you got to prove it on the field. I do think the way that people talk about Kansas City is differently than how they talk about Buffalo, Baltimore, and all of these other teams, and that's based off your history and track record of what you have accomplished. So, Rob, as I start these four categories, I don't think you can put the Chiefs still to this day in the same conversation as Buffalo and Baltimore heading into the season. The Chiefs have done it. They've walked through that door before, and those two teams haven't. Now, I would put Buffalo and Baltimore in the exact same category. It would be nice if the Chiefs got back to the Super Bowl, but the Chiefs are not in a race against time the way that those other two organizations are. In the same way that we talk about how the Chiefs need to prove something to the masses, Baltimore and Buffalo also need to prove something. I asked the question to you guys last week on what do you think Josh Allen's best game is? Rob, I'll ask you that same question with Lamar. What do you think Lamar Jackson's biggest win has been so far in his career? Because what has defined Lamar Jackson for the most part, despite being one of the most dynamic quarterbacks that we have ever seen, has been postseason failure and coming up short in big moments. Now, I can think of individual plays that Lamar has made. I believe it was the play against Cincinnati. He makes that incredible spin move in the middle of the field. But when I talk about win, what is the moment for Lamar Jackson that when you think of quarterback excellence, what do you point to? I don't know if you get a really good answer with Lamar. So if Kansas City's in one tier about proving, are they still the team that they used to be? Buffalo and Baltimore, they are never was. The Chiefs might be a has-been, but Baltimore and Buffalo, there's some never wases. You never got to experience what Kansas City got to experience. You never went to a championship. You never played for a Super Bowl. You never got to play the final Sunday of the NFL season. So they're in their own group. Rob, I think there's four teams in that next tier, and I think that tier is very simple. Can you replicate what you did last season? Everybody likes Houston. You don't know a single NFL fan heading into this season that doesn't believe in the Houston Texans. They've got a great defense. They've got solid skill position players. They won 12 games last year. They're in a bad division. They won a playoff game in each of the last 3 seasons. Everybody likes Houston. But can you replicate it? Can your quarterback take that next step? There's questions about these teams. There's questions about all 4 of the quarterbacks in this tier. So if that's the conversation with C.J. Stroud, I actually think you can maybe argue that Houston has fewer holes than anybody in the AFC, but massive question at quarterback. You've then got the Denver Broncos. We talked a lot about them over the last couple of weeks. You guys are just not believers in the Denver Broncos. There is nothing that the Broncos are going to do in August that is going to make you believers. Last season, a lot of people feel it was a fluke. A lot of people feel it was that way because of the amount of one-score games that they won. Can they replicate what they did last season and stay at the top of the AFC? The New England Patriots. I know a lot of people that thought New England was going to be better, but they were way better than what people thought they were going to be. They won the AFC last year. They beat up on a cupcake patsy schedule. That is not what they're going to have this season. Can they replicate their success? And you know what, Rob? After our conversation yesterday with Ryan Green, it really got me thinking and doing a deep dive. Have we given the Jacksonville Jaguars enough respect? Are we respecting Jacksonville enough? Because We're talking about a team last year that won 13 games. We're talking about a team that finished its regular season off with 8 consecutive wins. And we talk about Jacksonville like some also-rans. We talk about them like a team that didn't do anything last year. Won 13 games in the National Football League. That's pretty impressive what they did last year. So the next tier of teams, it's Houston, Denver, New England, and Jacksonville. And I think the public is telling you, we got to see you do it again. You are not the same brand that Kansas City, Buffalo, and Baltimore is. And then I think there's the last tier. I think it's the tier of, I'll see it when I believe it. You guys need to stay healthy. And that's where I think the Bengals and the Chargers are. Rob, from doing these shows, I think people really like Cincinnati coming into this year. And I get it. They've got a quarterback that throws the ball all over the field. They got 2 very dynamic wide receivers. They run the football effectively. The only question with them comes down to the defense. And last year, they couldn't stop anybody. But seeing is believing. We're a couple of years removed from the height of the Bengals' success with Joe Burrow, and you got to show it to people again. The Chargers are, well, the Chargers. I don't get a sense that people are very hopeful and optimistic about this Chargers team. So those are the 4 categories that I think we're talking about right now in the AFC. Is with Kansas City and can the king stay the king? It's Baltimore and Buffalo. Can they prove everybody wrong? Can they finally get over the hump? It's Houston, Denver, New England, and Jacksonville. Was last year a fluke? Can they replicate their success? And then I think it's Cincinnati and the Chargers. Hey, you guys got a lot of pieces, but can you put them together? If the Chargers put it together, they're as good as anybody in the AFC. If the Bengals can put it together, they have as much talent as anybody in the AFC. I think people are pretty skeptical about those teams. I want to hear from you guys. If you like my tier system, if you like the way that I have these teams grouped, we're going to talk a lot of football today, a lot of Chiefs training camp today as well. We're also going to hear from Travis Kelce. We'll do all that next. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
The appetite for destruction returns. Guns N' Roses. World Tour 2026. One night. Morton Amphitheater, August 19th. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You don't have to carry everything on your own. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, substance use, or thoughts of suicide, talking to someone can help, and help is available 24/7 through the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can call or text 988 anytime to connect with a trained mental health professional. 988 is free, confidential, easy to remember, and available anytime, anywhere, to anyone. Call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. No judgment, just help.
For a limited time at Go Car Wash, mention radio and get any wash for just $5. Yep, any wash. That's up to 80% off our best wash. Visit Go Car Wash today. It's your time to go shine.
Summer's here and Smokehouse Barbecue has you covered. If you're planning on grilling out, let Smokehouse Barbecue handle the heavy lifting with all the sides. If you're having family in town for vacation, bring them by. They have room to accommodate large parties. And if you're heading up to St. Joe for training camp, make Smokehouse Barbecue your ultimate pit stop for the best barbecue in Kansas City. Visit them in Gladstone, Zona Rosa, or Independence, or at SmokehouseBBQ.com. That's SmokehouseBBQ.com. It's Smokehouse Barbecue.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55-plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
For years, Gone South has been a podcast about crime in the American South. But for our new season, we're widening the lens. Through deeply reported, narrative-driven stories, we're digging into the myths, scandals, and power structures that still shape the South, and, in a lot of ways, the country itself. Follow and listen to Gone South Season 5, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you on this fantastic Wednesday. So I've been filling in a lot on Sirius this summer, and just through phone calls, through topics, hearing what people say, you start to get a 1,000-foot view of how the nation feels heading into the season. I don't see the NFC as being nearly as interesting as the AFC, at least right now. Everybody likes the Rams. Everybody likes the Seahawks. And as the season progresses, we'll find out who are the teams that could potentially be a threat to those two teams. But in the AFC, the fact that there is no consensus, the fact that everybody thinks their team could be good or could be that sleeper or could be that title contender has just made it a very interesting storyline to me. So I think there's 4 categories of conversations. I think there's 4 categories of teams. I think team number 1 is still Kansas City. Now, I don't think they're the best team. We've had that conversation as the offseason has gone on, but you still have to acknowledge that the Chiefs are the Chiefs. When you've played in 7 of the last 8 AFC championship games, when you've played in 5 of the last 7 Super Bowls, yeah, you got to talk about the Chiefs a little bit differently and understand that they still got Andy Reid, they still got Patrick Mahomes, they still got Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. This team could very easily find itself playing in Los Angeles at the end of the season as the last team standing. There's then Buffalo and Baltimore. 2 teams that fired their head coach, 2 teams that have gone through radical turnover since the last time that we saw these 2 teams, and 2 teams that feel like they are in the exact same position. We have all of the things to like about this team, but can they get over the hump? Can they finally play for a championship? I think you have 4 teams in that next conversation of, we like these teams, but I need to see you do it again. That's Houston, Denver, New England, and Jacksonville. And then you got 2 teams in the Chargers and the Bengals that I think people like, but I need to see you healthy. I need to see you put it together. They're not, in my opinion, on this same tier as those top teams that I mentioned. Somebody texted into the show, what about the Steelers? What about the Steelers? I don't know anybody that thinks the Steelers will be bad this year. I'd be surprised if the Steelers had the 7th overall pick. I also would be pretty surprised if the Steelers were a title contending, you think they can make a deep run in the postseason kind of team. I've seen this team before. They're a 9-win, maybe a 10-win team, wild card, that they end up playing the 2 seed in the AFC in the first round, and they get absolutely blitzkrieg bopped in the first round of it. That's where I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are. So I left them off of this list because I don't think they're going anywhere. I don't think they can do anything. I'm just not very optimistic about them. Now, a team could pop up and surprise us. There could be a Tennessee Titans team that's a little bit better than we thought they could be. Maybe I'm off on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Maybe I'm off on one of these teams, but I kind of feel like that's the list. I feel like that's the correct tier to have heading into the season.
I can't get over someone asking about Pittsburgh. I mean, I guess they made the playoffs last year, but like that's an uninspiring group. Who do you think the dark horse will be? Because as you said, I started thinking,
technically Denver counts as a dark horse and at least the perception. I mean, right now in Vegas, they have the 8th best odds to represent the AFC for the Super Bowl. So the public and Vegas look at them like a middle tier team. So if we're counting Denver can be a sleeper, which sounds crazy for the team that was the 1 seed last year in the AFC and was in the AFC Championship game, I guess technically they would count as a potential sleeper heading into the year, even though I don't think that they are.
I was going to say, because I think what's interesting to me about the AFC is we all kind of identified the 8, 9, 10 teams that we think are contenders. But we know how this works. There's still a dark horse team. Now, I don't think it's Miami. I don't think it's Cleveland. Like, we can rule them out. Someone's going to be better than we anticipate. That's just how football works. So I'm curious what team in those categories gets kicked out, gets yeeted because a new team entered the fold. Because you would have said, at this time last year, I'm betting, just betting, that we are not talking about the Patriots the way we are now. There is going to be a team that does that. I'm curious who people think that team will be. Now, maybe they don't go to the AFC title game, but someone's going to the playoffs that we didn't see coming.
Yeah, 100%. If I had to guess, if you're asking me that team, I think it could be Tennessee. I think Tennessee's floor is going to be much higher this year. It really counts on, do you think that Cam Ward is a good quarterback and can take that next step? But I like their options. Robert Saleh gives them a top defensive mind, so you could throw him into the mix potentially. So if you just want me to throw out a team that I think could maybe surprise some people, Tennessee would be a team that I think could surprise you. But I think what is so different about the AFC than the NFC is, I mean, I just listed over half of the conference. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like right now we think that this thing has been pared down. It's been pared down a little bit, at least early on in the NFC. Like, I think Green Bay is going to be good. Do you think Green Bay is a Super Bowl contending team? I can't put them in that conversation right now. There's maybe 4 or 5 of those teams in the NFC, even though there's a clear hierarchy. The NFC feels a lot like the Western Conference in the NBA, where you got the Spurs, you got the Thunder, and then it's just everybody else kind of fall in line. The AFC feels just more wide open than that. I want to play this audio for you guys. We got time to read some text messages as well. 913-586-7965. I remember when my dad was alive and I talked to him about the show. He used to love when Bill Moss would come on back in the day. And I used to always ask him, hey, Pops, you don't want to hear me talk? And he's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know no football. But Bill Moss, he know what he's talking about. I'm like, I love Bill. I love Bill now. Hey, Bill, if you're listening, salute to you. I love you. My Pops, big fan. And I understood it. Old school football guy, they want to hear from people that put on the pads. They want to hear from people that were in the trenches, in the locker room. That's who they want to give their football analysis and their football takes. And I'm not mad at that. I understand there's a limitation in my opinion. That's why we have a Jeff Schwartz on the show, a Mitchell Schwartz on the show. That's why we reach out to former players, because I want a different perspective than the one that I have. We start to listen to more of these podcasts and start to watch more of these television shows, I start to realize their opinions stink. Their opinions are no different than my opinion. Their opinion is no different than your opinion. LaShawn McCoy, one of the great running backs in NFL history. He's on the all-decade team. I don't think he'll get into the Hall of Fame, but he's got a Hall of Fame argument. He was a dog in his day. LeSean McCoy was on a podcast. Somebody asked him, would he rather have Antonio Brown or Jerry Rice? I want to play for you what he had to say.
This might sound crazy, but Jerry Rice or AB, man, like, yo, I'm taking AB. Yeah.
What did you just say?
Jerry Rice or Antonio Brown? I'm taking Antonio Brown.
Keep going.
I don't care.
Thank you guys for watching the Speakeasy.
Boys out the mud. We got LeSean McCoy.
What?
Bro,
I'm not going to get distracted.
Y'all can't. All right, that's one. Two is y'all acting like, what am I saying wrong? What can Jerry Rice do that AB can't do?
Jerry Rice got, what, 3 Super Bowls?
The Super Bowl.
22,000 yards.
The Super Bowl.
He's got,
Jerry Rice
he had a 1,000-yard receiving season at
42, bro.
Like 42.
Yo,
Yeah,
my man. And you don't think AB can do that? See, y'all talking like that because AB's career.
Yes, your career makes you.
Okay.
All right. Can we just talk a little bit about Jerry Rice? Just a little bit. We don't got to talk for a lot.
You want to do Rice first or AB first?
Just Jerry Rice. We got to start acknowledging who Jerry Rice was, and we got to stop this nonsense. We do. We got to stop it. I think Tom Brady is one. I think Tom Brady has the most impressive football resume of any former NFL player. I think Jerry Rice is number 2. You guys want to go through Jerry Rice's career accomplishments? 3-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time Offensive Player of the Year. Rob, 10 times he was first team All-Pro. 10 times. I know you guys tell me Pro Bowls don't matter. He made it 13 times. You don't accidentally make 13 Pro Bowls. Twice he led the NFL in catches. 6 times he led the NFL in yards or receiving touchdowns. He's on the all-decade team for the 1980s and the 1990s. What are we doing here? Most catches all time, most receiving yards all time, most receiving yards in the playoffs in history, most games with 100 yards receiving, most receiving touchdown. What are we talking about here? Jerry Rice might be the best football player ever. If you were doing a draft of best football players, he might be the number 1 overall pick. So, no, we're not arguing Antonio Brown. We all love Randy Moss. Who doesn't? I'm not arguing Randy Moss was better than him. This man, Jerry Rice, had a 1,100-yard season at 39 and 40. 40. He had 1,200 yards. We're not doing that with Jerry Rice. Come on now. We're not doing that. Some guys are different. Jerry was different. Barry Sanders, different. Dion, different. There's some guys that their jacket should be a little bit more gold than everybody else. I want Torrey Holt to get into the Hall of Fame. I've said that plenty of times. Jerry Rice should be in a different wing than where Torrey Holt is. We're not doing this with Jerry. AB? Come on now. I only play the audios because sometimes I know you guys, you don't talk about, man, you didn't play the game. No, you're right. I did not play football in college. I did not play football in the NFL. I can read. I can. I'm actually kind of good at it, I would think. I've got a lot of practice over the years. You cannot look at what Jerry Rice accomplished and AB accomplished and then try to tell me you'd rather have AB over Jerry Rice. What are we doing here? Jerry Rice played 20 years in the league. In only 3 of those seasons, Rob, did he play less than 13 games. He was healthy. He was available. He was super productive. He wasn't going to be an off-the-field issue. No, we're not doing that with Jerry Rice. No, not at all. That's all I got for LeSean McCoy. Shady McCoy.
I would listen to an argument about Moss. I would listen. I don't think you're right, but I don't think it's an egregious stance if I said, hey, Randy Moss better than Jerry Rice. Again, I would listen to the argument. That is the only player in the history of the NFL that we can have a conversation about other than Jerry Rice. Randy Moss. And he loses, by the way. AB, just no. Also, as someone who does this for a living, we argue sports. That's our job. when someone says, what are you talking about, his whole career? Yeah, his whole career is what you look at when you're comparing players to each other. AB was great. He will probably not get into the Hall of Fame because of everything that happened after football and quitting football and all those things. But he was not better than Jerry Rice. I understand now why FS1 let Shady go. It's starting to math. The math's starting to math a little bit.
Can I read to you a text message really quick that has nothing to do with what we're talking about? Sometimes I'm starting to realize what gets you guys so angry on the text line. Like, I like going inside the mind of the text line. So this guy, he sent his first text of the day. Carrington, just as I predicted. Sure, you started off positive about the Chiefs, and then you started slamming them, saying that it wouldn't be a surprise if they ended up in L.A. Rob, do you know what the Super Bowl is this year?
L.A.
Got it. Okay. I just wanted to know. The guy, he was so mad that I said it wouldn't be a surprise if they went to the Super Bowl. Maybe people don't know these kind of things. Maybe that's what it is. Sometimes I'm starting to think that's what it is. People just don't know. So their first inclination is just to get mad for no reason. They don't know. So when I say, yes, the Chiefs could end their season in L.A., I'm not talking about the regular season. I'm talking about the end of the year. At the end, the Super Bowl. That's what it is, Rob. Now I start to understand the text line a little bit better more and more as we do this. That's what I'm starting to get.
What I've learned over time with this show and doing the text line is they're the most confident when they're the most wrong.
That's one of the crazier ones I've ever gotten, though. That's a crazy one. That really is a crazy one. That one's nuts. How dare you? I was like, okay, my bad. I'm sorry for saying they could go to the Super Bowl. I apologize. I'll be more specific next time.
Well, right now the text line is making the peak AB is better than Jerry Rice argument. So maybe we shouldn't try to get inside of its mind.
You want to move on?
Yes.
We can move on. Do you want to move on?
AB was good. He's not Jerry Rice.
He was very good. No, he was very good.
Do you know what? There's a lot of good basketball players. They're not all Michael Jordan.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've just never seen that before. Of course you would slam them. My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to slam them. I really didn't. I didn't mean to slam them.
With a compliment.
Can I tell you something I talked about earlier today? I just want to get your opinion. So, sometimes we do nostalgic topics on this show, right? We'll take a trip in the Wayback Machine, So today I was thinking of doing a topic where it was, give me a 2000s NBA player that today's generation doesn't understand how good they were. And Rob, my answer was going to be Baron Davis. I don't think that this younger generation knows how good Baron Davis was for UCLA, how good he was with the Hornets, or how good he was with the Golden State Warriors. Like, Baron Davis was a bona fide hooper. And then I started thinking, nah, you know what, man? Nah, that's not what I want to do. So you know what I came up with, Rob? I think these are the 3 craziest sports stories of my lifetime. And I want to run them by you, and you tell me if you think that they're actually the craziest ones we've ever seen. Number 1, to me, there was an all-pro tight end in the National Football League that murdered 2 people while playing football. Like, these teams will make you believe that they got a CSI unit. That when they talk about we vetted this guy and that we went through our due diligence, they really make you think like, man, what does the NFL know? Like, I used to believe this. I really did. Like, oh, man, I mean, he's got to be cool. I mean, they told me he was cool. These things about Aaron Hernandez are not debatable. At the University of Florida, he killed somebody. He then got drafted into the National Football League. While playing for the New England Patriots, he murdered another person and then kept playing for the New England Patriots. Crazy. Bill Simmons used to talk about the Mike Tyson zone. I've told you about this before, that Mike Tyson reached a point in his life where there was no story about Mike Tyson you wouldn't believe. Very few people get to that level in their life of crazy. OJ was in that level when he was alive. Mike Tyson in that level, but not really anymore. Mike's really settled down in old age. Aaron Hernandez is absolutely in that story. Absolutely. Aaron Hernandez, one of the craziest stories that we have ever had. That's on my list. Now, these two are a lot more positive, actually. Rob, the Kurt Warner story, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it is the true underdog story. It's so unrealistic that if they had made, like, if we didn't know that it happened and somebody just wrote a Hollywood script about this, you would have said that the movie was so unrealistic. Kurt Warner didn't start until his senior year at Northern Iowa, then goes undrafted, sits out a year to go work at Hy-Vee, then still has the football itch, goes to play in the AFL, plays really well in the AFL. Then in 1997, this is a part of the Kurt Warner story that people don't know, he had a tryout for the Chicago Bears. They were going to bring him in. He is on his honeymoon. Rob, he gets bitten by a mosquito and his elbow is inflamed, so he can't throw. He can't go to the tryout. Fast forward a couple of more years, he now gets the opportunity to go to the St. Louis Rams. We all know the Trent Green story. His first year in the NFL, he won NFL MVP. Those 3 years with the Rams, they were the most exciting team in the National Football League. And then, Rob, as quickly as it started with Kurt Warner, it ended almost as quickly. Kurt Warner threw 27 touchdown passes over a 5-year stretch after that Rams run was over. He was cooked. Then at 37 years old, he takes Arizona to the Super Bowl. It's one of the most it's so much more improbable than the Tom Brady story. I get it. Tom Brady went on 199th overall pick to be I get it. It's not that crazy to me that Michigan's starting quarterback became a good NFL quarterback. That's not a rarity. The fact that undrafted mid-major guy then goes on to be 2-time Super Bowl appearance, 1-time Super Bowl champ, first year in the league MVP is a crazy story. That's number 2. And number 3, Rob. Did you know that Indiana won the national championship in college football? Just think about that. Indiana, they had been playing college football since 1899. 1899. That's a long time you playing college football. They had never won double-digit games until 2 years ago with Curt Cignetti. They had only won 9 games once. Rob, Indiana had won 3 bowl games in their entire program's history. They just won 3 bowl games this year. It does not make any sense how just instantly Indiana became Texas. And I know people are going to argue, oh, it's NIL. I mean, Rob, we can go through the college football coaches poll. It's not like it's a bunch of random teams that are in the poll. Like right now, this is the poll in college football. Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame, Indiana, Miami, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Ole Miss. Only one of those teams sounds out of place. Shock. Miami's good at football again. Oklahoma's really good at football again. People think Notre Dame and Georgia are going to be really good. This isn't any different than what the poll looked like in 2021 or 2016 or 2011. This is how college football always is. There's not a bunch of random teams that are just competing for the championship. Rob, we can keep going down. Alabama, Texas Tech, LSU, USC. All of these teams have been good in our lifetime. It's not a shock that Texas Tech is good at football. You and I remember the Michael Crabtree, Graham Harrell days. They've been good at football. Indiana ain't never been good at football, ever. I think those are the 3 craziest stories of our sports lifetime.
I think you are missing an obvious one.
Okay.
Manti Te'o.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Because it's not just he got very publicly catfished, which is crazy in of itself. Because we didn't really know what catfishing was at the time as a society. We forget, he as a middle linebacker was invited to New York for the Heisman Trophy. And I believe he finished second behind Johnny Manziel that year. That guy had a fake girlfriend all year round. You'll remember, there was like support on campus for the fact that, he had lost his girlfriend who didn't really exist. Like, I think Manti Te'o, I think because the internet's become more prevalent and catfishing, all these things and schemes and scams are more normal, we kind of look back and think, oh, that happens. Manti Te'o is one of the crazier stories we've seen.
The thing that's the craziest about Manti Te'o is this. It's not to me that he had a relationship with a person that actually didn't exist. Like, that's not, that probably happens a lot more frequently than you think it does. Especially now with social media, Facebook, like, you could absolutely be talking to someone who is not a real person. If you go back, Rob, it was how he used to describe this person. That's the crazier thing about it. The way he used to describe it, it felt like they had a close, intimate relationship. That's a good one. The Manti Te'o one is a very good one. If you guys have one, 913-586-7965. Those are the three craziest stories to me. Aaron Hernandez, Kurt Warner, and the fact that Indiana just won the national championship in college football. We've never seen anything like this, ever. Not ever when it comes to Indiana. Coming up at the top of the hour, Russell Westbrook retired. Let's celebrate Russ ending his career. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Man, that was the insurance company again.
What'd they say?
They want another statement, more paperwork. They're telling me what my car's worth. Now they want all my medical records.
Dude, why are you dealing with all that?
Call the Car Crash Kings.
One call and they deal with the insurance company for you. The calls, the paperwork, the negotiations. You just focus on getting better.
Hurt in a car wreck? Don't do it yourself. Call the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely from advertisements.
Baseball fans, you think you know who's hitting a homer today? Well, FanDuel's giving you a free chance to call your shot with Daily Dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. You got nothing to lose and a lot to gain, and you can make a free pick every day during the MLB season. It's just another reason why FanDuel's the home for home runs. If you're ready to play your game today, join all the action at FanDuel.com/local. That's FanDuel.com/local to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB and 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
I scream.
You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This afternoon, partly sunny with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. High of 100.
Weather brought to you by Staples. It's the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
All right, the text line is giving a couple of really other good suggestions. Rob, we did see a player who I think it's safe to call Michael Vick. He was a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback when he was with the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, he wasn't a he wasn't a Hall of Fame kind of guy or nothing, but I mean, he was pretty popular during this time. Like, no question about that. You know, he had the Nike tennis shoe, and he had the commercials, and people loved Michael Vick. He was on the cover of Madden, and people liked Michael Vick during that time. Yeah, just went to jail right in the middle of his career. Just went to jail. Also, a pretty crazy story, I will admit. The Manti Te'o one's a good one, Rob. That's a really, really good one about Manti Te'o. It's not that I forgot about it. Just that's a really, really good, crazy story that happened to us in sports. You're like, wait, what happened? That's wild. All right, let me play this for you. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll switch gears a little bit. We'll talk a little bit of basketball. Russell Westbrook has announced that he is retired from the NBA. What a career for Russell Westbrook. We'll talk about that more coming up at the top. Here is Adam Schefter of ESPN. There could be some suspensions that could be handed down across the NFL.
Right now, there are some things going on behind closed doors that we don't have full access to that are going to have a significant impact on this season, depending on how these conversations go. And what I'm talking about is the potential discipline for a handful of players that we believe will be handed down, whatever it is, by the start of the regular season.
All right, let's talk about this. So, Rob, you wanted to bring this up because there's a chance that Puka Nacua is suspended to start the season. I mean, he had a wild offseason. Remember he bit that gal? Right? I'm not crazy. I didn't make that up, right? Did he bite some lady, allegedly?
I say allegedly. That is the report.
He bit some lady? Now, I'm going to ask you this. I mean, you think the NFL is suspending the best receiver in the National Football League for their big game on Netflix? I mean, I'm going to guess the answer is no to that. I'm going to guess that they're going to say, you know what? I mean, nothing. There were no charges. I'm just going to assume that. I don't have any reason to believe that anything is going to happen to Rashee Rice. Remember that tweet we got from the very beginning of the offseason that Adam Schefter said that the NFL was not going to suspend Rashee Rice? It's really quiet on all fronts. I don't see a marijuana violation with that violated the terms of his parole. I just don't see that as an NFL issue, honestly. Now, if he was driving drunk and that's why he got, that'd be a different conversation, but I don't know if the NFL can have the stance that it has about marijuana, which they don't really seem to care if you smoke marijuana or not. I don't know if now they can suspend you or use a roundabout way to suspend you because you violated the terms of your probation. You did the crime. You did the time. You have now come back. I don't think Rashee Rice should be suspended. So this is not something that I'm tracking for the rest of the offseason. I think the situation is behind us. I don't think anything's going to happen to him.
I don't think so either. I want that on the record first and foremost. But when Adam Schefter, which, by the way, the most cryptic way Adam Schefter could have talked, there are rumblings behind closed doors deep in the NFL office about potential suspensions. I don't know to who or when or what, but those things are being discussed in boardrooms right now. Like, I don't like the way Schefter did that. That's not here nor there. I don't think he's going to be suspended. But when Schefter says that, and you consider the fact the NFL loves to, quote, protect the shield, and one of their players was in literal jail for 30 days, I understand why people, and maybe just people on social media, are making the leap of, wait, Rashee Rice embarrassed the league by being in jail. Adam Schefter's saying in boardrooms right now they're discussing NFL suspensions, putting 2 and 2 together. I think he will be fine, but I understand the leap people are making based on that cut.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's not where I am, at least when it comes to Rashee Rice. I don't think anything is going to happen, nor do I think anything should happen to Rashee Rice. If this was a domestic violence infraction that then triggered him going to prison, that'd be a different conversation. If Rashee Rice got a speeding ticket for going 107 miles an hour, I'd have a different opinion. Him smoking a couple pre-rolls and peeing in a cup and testing negative, I don't care about that. It doesn't really matter that much to me. It does violate your probation, You then had to go to prison for 30 days because of it. I mean, I just feel like the issue has been resolved in that aspect, and I think we should all move on with Rashee Rice. I would not suspend him. Let me play this for you guys before the top of the hour. Here is Tyrann Mathieu. He has a podcast. And Tyrann Mathieu, he is hopping on the Cyrus Allen bandwagon.
One of our homegrown kids, Cyrus Allen, I mean, he's just taking it by storm, bro. Like, Pat loves him. Coaches love him.
That's crazy.
And he was banged up a little bit. He had, I think it was like a shin bruise or something like that.
Yeah.
So he didn't really practice while I was there. But me and him had a bunch of conversations, like, and he asked all the right questions, too, especially as a youngster, man. Like, how do I stay in this league? Like, what do I do? Like, what was your routine?
Right. Yeah.
How often you go back home?
Yeah.
Right? And I told him that's one of the things that, I had to work on early on was that, for us in Louisiana, man, like we normal. We treat each other normal, right? But, I mean, once you make it and you cross over, like, you're no longer normal.
You're no longer normal, dog.
Stuff you did 10 years ago,
Can't do it
in your mama house,
right?
You can't do that anymore.
You guys are always really good at remembering these kind of things. I got to give you guys that. 913-586-7965. Can you give me a non-quarterback that had this much of a anticipation for their first preseason game? Like right now, I think you would agree, Rob, the Cyrus Allen excitement is probably like a 7 or 8. I think you guys are very excited about Cyrus Allen, and you absolutely should be very excited about him. Let Cyrus Allen have like 70 yards this weekend. Let Cyrus Allen get an extended amount of time on the field, and he has 5 catches for 70 yards. That hype will be at an 11 on Monday when we come back together and talk about the Chiefs preseason game and what they look like and snap counts and who were. Can you think of a player like this? It wasn't like this when Xavier Worthy. It wasn't like this for Rashee Rice. It's been a while since they've kind of had that running back or receiver prospect. Like, there's a lot of hype, a lot of buzz, a lot of good momentum about Cyrus Allen heading into the preseason. He's one of the biggest reasons to watch. Rob, I was watching your little video we do on Chiefs Take Tuesday, and you're talking to me about watching Khalil Benson. You know what I'm not watching preseason football for? The right guard. No. I'm watching for the running backs, the wide receivers, the skill position guys. That's what I'm watching. So Cyrus Allen being out there, and if he's practicing with somewhat the first unit, I know Mahomes isn't going to play, but, I mean, we haven't heard that Kelce's not going to play, or Rice or Worthy or some of these guys are going to play. To see Justin Fields and Cyrus Allen get some work, and if he can make a couple of big plays, if he plays well this weekend, that will be the number one story on Monday. Is there been a player recently that you can think of, the hype, the buzz, the momentum that feels like it is right now heading into the Chiefs' first preseason game, the way that it matches Cyrus Allen?
Is the answer Justin Ross? Because Justin Ross hype was strong. Not the first year. Remember, they had that video of him in the indoor, then they put him in the IR, then he practiced in full, and I believe he caught a touchdown in the first preseason game he had. And Justin Ross hype was at a fever pitch. So I think Cyrus Allen will have a better career than Justin Ross, but I think Justin Ross is the last time it was like this for a player in Kansas City.
Okay.
Other than a star, like a first-round pick, like Monster Delane, if he was totally healthy, is a different category to me than Cyrus Allen.
Yeah, I just think that most people already think they know with Monster Delane. Like, he's going to step in and be a positive producer. Where with Cyrus Allen, it's such an exciting time because it feels like an unknown. Like, you and I think, are in the same boat. I think he'll have like 350 yards. But the hype is, hey, maybe you really got something, and you got a 700-yard guy, and you really found a diamond in the rough. Like, you really found Romeo Doubs in the 5th round. You really found one of these kinds of guys. I think there's an excitement about what he could potentially be. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to switch gears just a little bit. Russell Westbrook has announced that he is retired. He will go into the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. I made my all 2000s I haven't won a ring team. I'll tell you if I think Russell Westbrook is on it. We'll get to it next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Jacob, your friend and an actual jeweler craftsman at Shane Company. I'm proud to work for a family business that's been committed to the highest quality standards for nearly 100 years. Your dream engagement ring is designed for quality every step of the way. We set your diamond by hand, not with machines. Prong tips are beautiful and secure, and intricate details are thoughtfully crafted. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend knows true love deserves the highest quality. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
When shopping for a new auto insurance policy, AAA could help you customize your coverage to fit your unique needs and budget. Trust AAA Auto Insurance to help you find the balance that works for you. See how a simple switch could make a big difference. AAA, we're always with you. Visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Baseball season is in full swing, and there's no better place to be than Kelce, America's #1 prediction market platform. Maybe you're thinking about who's going to hoist the trophy at the end of it. I like Milwaukee. They're trading currently at just 9%, down 0.5% this week. That means a $100 trade on Kelce could see you a $1,044 return. You can choose that or other teams over on Kelce, because on Kelce you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house. And as probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. Download the Kelce app and use code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade $10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kelce, trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kelce products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kelce.com/regulatory. One contractor, all things parking lot.
That's who they are over at Gann Asphalt and Concrete, a locally owned and operated company who is ready to take on that project for you, whether it be commercial paving services, asphalt services, or any large-scale project. The first thing a client sees about your business is the parking lot, and Gann Asphalt and Concrete is ready to make sure it gives the right first impression. Trust a locally owned and operated company who is ready to do that work for you. Give them a call, 816-688-3512, or check them out at GannAsphalt.com.
Cody and Gold are live from the practice field at Chiefs training camp this summer on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFMC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right. Now, I know that you guys hate when we talk about basketball. But you know what? You're just going to have to put up with it for the next 10 minutes. Or come back. And then we'll get back to talking about football. Russell Westbrook announced that he is retiring from the NBA. Russell Westbrook is one of the most prolific players in NBA history. Rob, do you remember when it was crazy to think that someone could average a triple-double in an NBA season? The Oscar Robertson had done it back in the day and that it was impossible. Russ, at his peak, he did it. He was in his prime. He is still the most athletic end-to-end point guard that I have ever seen. I'm talking about could get the rebound, go coast to coast, windmill dunk, scream in your face. He was a dog in his absolute prime. I know his career's fallen off a little bit here at the end, but I still got all the respect in the world for Russell Westbrook when he was at his peak. Playing for Oklahoma City, he still was playing at that same level with Houston. After that point, it kind of started falling off these last couple years. It's over. I mean, Russell Westbrook's 37 years old. He entered the league in 2008. I understand Russell Westbrook being done, and he has made more than enough good money in his time in the NBA. So, Rob, if you could give me a little bit of NBA music, if you can pull it up, this is what I've decided to do. I am only going to count the last 25 years of NBA history. So I'm not going all the way back. I'm like, what about Patrick Ewing? We ain't talking about Patrick Ewing. We talking about 2000 hoopers. You got to be a 2000s. Your prime had to be in the 2000s hooper last 25 years, Rob. I made my first team, no championships. Are you ready? Hit me, Rob. Point guard was tough. Is because I think you can go in one or two directions. Three, actually. I think you can go in three directions. You can either go Chris Paul, you can go Russell Westbrook, or you could go Steve Nash, two-time NBA MVP. I think Chris Paul's been the best point guard of the last 25 years. Out of those three. I think Chris Paul was a known floor raiser. And you knew if you had Chris Paul in his prime, you were making the championship every single year. I don't know if we look back as fondly on Blake Griffin's career if he doesn't get to play with Chris Paul. Lob City and that whole run, Jamal Crawford, J.J. Redick, Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, that was a Chris Paul. He went to New Orleans and had them in the playoffs. Tyson Chandler looked like he was done at this point in his career. You want to know why he got big money? He got to play with Chris Paul. I got Chris Paul as my point guard here. Last 25 years, 2,000 hoopers, no championship.
Look at my first time out in here.
Okay.
What are you doing with Allen Iverson?
Keep waiting.
I didn't know if he counted as point guard because you mentioned three. I didn't know if there was a combo guard type of thing. Okay. I was curious how he scores.
I got him at the two-guard spot.
Okay.
I got AI at the two-guard spot. Now, with Chris Paul and Allen Iverson, we got barbecue chicken alert. I don't know if we're guarding anybody, but Chris Paul doesn't need to get shots on this team. Chris Paul, let AI do his thing. AI gonna break you down the crossover. There were two dribble moves back in the early 2000s, Rob, that every kid wanted to do. I don't care where you grew up. You could have went to Central or Blue Valley Northwest. Rob, you were practicing these two moves. You wanted Allen Iverson's crossover, and you wanted that hot sauce move when he would dribble when he was on the ground and spin. Everybody was working on those moves in the 2000s. So I got Chris Paul as my point, and I got Allen Iverson in the two-guard spot. That's what I got.
I was curious how that worked.
I got AI.
No defense, first team.
Not at all. Just first team barbecue chicken alert. At the 3 spot, I think there's 3 possible options at the 3. I think it's Vince Carter, Carmelo Anthony, or who I ended up choosing, Tracy McGrady.
Okay. So
I think Tracy McGrady was the better player out of these 3 in the NBA.
I agree with that. I was curious how you're going to handle the forward position because I would have said, let's play small and have McGrady and was it his actual cousin?
Yeah, they were cousins, yeah.
And I would have had Carter and McGrady out there. So now I'm fascinated by your power forward.
Okay. So I went with 2000s basketball.
So you were traditional 1 through 4.
I went with traditional 1 through 4 because of the era. I got Amari Stoudemire at the 4.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't have done it that way.
I got Amari Stoudemire at the 4. I'm talking about there was not a better pick and roll combination in the 2000s than Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire. I mean, dunks and running up and down the floor and exciting brand of basketball. If they had been in the Eastern Conference, they would have played for a couple of championships. They just happened to be on the same side as the Lakers and the Spurs and just kept bumping their head for those couple of years into one of those 2 teams. There was actually the one year I think they were going to beat the Spurs, but didn't Amari Stoudemire came off the bench during a fight in the playoffs? And the rule in the NBA is if you leave the bench during a fight, you are automatically suspended. And that's a big reason why they got eliminated during that time. I got Amari Stoudemire at the 4.
So I have beef with this only because I think Amari Stoudemire is strictly a Steve Nash creation.
Okay.
I don't think he's a bad player.
I got no problems with that.
But, I saw him in New York. He was not very good.
Okay.
His body was broken. He was a product of Steve Nash to the point. So I would have gone, again, I would have played a little bit of funny money 2026 basketball and had McGrady and Vince Carter out there.
For the 5 spot, I think there's 2 possible options. I went with Dwight Howard. I think the backup is Joel Embiid. If you're talking about true 5, true center, doesn't have a championship, I got Dwight Howard as the starter. I think the best version of Dwight's better than the best version of Joel Embiid. 2 MVPs, but one team, Dwight Howard took his team to an NBA Finals. He got over the hump.
Over LeBron in his prime, too.
Back when there's nothing Nike wanted more than LeBron and Kobe to go to a championship. And who crashed that party? It was the Dwight Howard Orlando Magic. And they handled the Cavs in that series. That's my starting 5. 2000s, no championships. Chris Paul, Allen Iverson, T-Mac, Amari Stoudemire, Dwight Howard. We're doing our 2000s championship team. No championships because Russell Westbrook just announced that he was retiring. Congratulations to Russ.
I actually was looking this up. Oh, I have a comment here. I'm looking this up. I wanted to be sure. Dwight Howard can't be on your team.
He got a chip? Who did he win with?
COVID bubble Lakers.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that. All right, I got to go Joel Embiid. My bad.
Just to give you an idea of how great he was on the COVID bubble Lakers.
Did he play on that team?
He played in 69 games. How many points did he average a game? It's going to be a small number. Oh, yeah. He was averaging 7 points a night. I mean, it was over. He was 34 years old, but on the bubble, he has a title.
My bad. I apologize. No.
How could you forget the bubble title?
The text line's right. My bad. I apologize. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm wrong. My bad. Joel Embiid. Throw him in there. You want to know one thing I know? I know Joel Embiid ain't got a championship. I'm certain. I'm 100%. He ain't never played in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't got to fact check that work. He's in the chip. That's my list. Do you think Luka's on this team?
Not yet. I think
that's fair.
I think
I just wonder if we're saying after 2000, do you think that Luka's on this team? I don't know if he's played enough yet because then am I putting Wemby on this team? Wemby in his 3rd season doesn't have a championship.
I think Luka could end up on it, but I'm actually surprised by the lack of Steve Nash too. He's a multiple-time MVP. I mean, he has more MVPs than anyone else on that list, right? And he's sitting on the bench on the no-title team?
Yeah, I'm going to go that you have to be over 30 to be on this team now. Now that I'm thinking it out loud. Luka just can't be on this team. My bad. I'm just saying, over the last 25 years, you think that Steve Nash has been the best point guard in the NBA that hasn't won a championship? Because I don't feel that way.
I mean, he has multiple MVPs. I mean,
It's one of those MVPs should have been Kobe's. Kobe should have more than one MVP, and one of them is at his house. Is at Steve Nash's house.
I mean, 7-time first-team All-NBA.
Okay, that's fair. Somebody said, is this just 2000s era? Yes. So we're doing this because Russell Westbrook is...
Yeah, he has 2 MVPs and was a runner-up the year he didn't get it.
You're telling me at their peak, you'd rather have Steve Nash than have Russell Westbrook?
At their peak, I'd rather have Steve Nash than Chris Paul.
Wow. Okay, I would not do that. I think you're underselling how good Chris Paul was for how long he was.
I think you're undershooting Steve Nash.
Now, I'm with you. The peak, if you're saying like one individual season of him, I mean, Chris Paul played at such an incredibly high level for 20 years in the NBA.
Oh, yeah. Duration, I'll never argue. But for a 5-year stretch, Steve Nash was just averaging double-double, MVPs, leading the league in assists, just doing everything.
I'm looking at this right now. I mean, I actually still think Chris Paul could hoop a little bit in the league if they gave him a chance. Like, if you put Chris Paul on a team right now and was like, all right, just go, I still think he could help somebody. I mean, the last time he played, when he was playing for San Antonio, so that was Wemby's, first year he played? I mean, his first year in the league, I mean, even at 39 years old, he was still averaging 10 points a night and giving you 7-8 assists a game. Like, still an incredibly high basketball IQ. So, shout out to Chris Paul. Absolute shout out to Chris Paul. All right, that's my team right there. That's my team. So today we're celebrating Russell Westbrook. He has announced that he is retired from the NBA. You know what? Why don't we keep our basketball conversation going? Rob, I'm going to do something I never thought we would do. Can we talk about that Final Four that Russell Westbrook went to? Let's talk about that one next.
Let's do that.
Let's do that one next. I know you would be excited about that. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
FanDuel is giving new customers up to $1,000 in bet resets. Bet $5 daily and unlock $200 in bet resets every day. That's right. New customers can place a $5 bet each day and receive up to $200 in bet resets, up to $1,000 in total. So whether you're betting money lines, player props, or same-game parlays, remember that FanDuel has you covered. Place your daily $5 bet and unlock up to $1,000 in bet reset. Summer is here, and that still means baseball season with our friends over at FanDuel. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. Remember, FanDuel is your place for home runs. FanDuel is an official partner of Major League Baseball and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Minimum $5 wager required for 5 consecutive days. Bonus issue is novel drawable bet reset tokens. Refund from tokens issued as novel drawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Max refund of $200 per day. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Dynasties aren't built overnight. They're built one smart move at a time. At Main Street Credit Union, our certified financial counselors turn your hopes for someday into a game plan that starts today. Schedule a financial counseling session with one of our certified financial advisors to draw up the right financial play for you. Main Street Credit Union. Real people, real progress. Join us at mainstreetcu.org.
Sprained wrist, ankle twist. Broken thumb can't make a fist. Busted knee, surgery. That patch of ice you didn't see.
Where pain starts, Jernavix suzetrigine begins. Jernavix is a non-opioid 50-milligram prescription tablet for adults with moderate to severe acute pain that reduces pain signals before they reach the brain.
Tendon tear, nose repair, tripping on that broken stair, dislocation, operation, moped crash while on vacation.
Do not take Jernavix with CYP3A inhibitors. Avoid use with grapefruit or liver problems, as these may increase side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medicines if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Jernavix may make certain medicines and birth control less effective. Side effects include itching, muscle spasms, rash, and elevated muscle enzymes.
Joint displacement, knee replacement, fell on marbles in the basement, ladder slip, broken hip, that rock climb where you lost your grip.
To learn more about Jernavix, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit jernavix.com.
The Advent Health Championship is Casey's only PGA Tour event. Whether you're a golfer or you just want to be part of the fun, family-friendly event, see the future stars of the PGA Tour at Blue Hills Country Club, August 20th through 23rd. Ticket information at adventhealthchampionship.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I love days like these at the pool, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. I'm ready to make a splash with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza. Skyrizi is a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. At 4 months, most people saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe, and many were even 100% plaque-free. People also saw significant improvement in psoriasis symptoms of pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Now there's nothing on my skin thanks to Skyrizi, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We've got a slowdown. Looks like 70 headed eastbound as you get to Van Brunt. You're going to want to scoot to the left, a stall, trying to make it off to the right shoulder, blocking part of the right lane. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison here. We were just having a little bit of fun. We were just giving a little bit of basketball here. You know, I'm all for a little, preseason training camp football, but sometimes, it just feels good to talk about a little basketball in the middle of the summer. Now, sometimes I'm realizing that part of being a good teammate is you got to do things that excite your partner. So, Rob, because Russell Westbrook is retired today, I'm willing to spend a small amount of time talking about the Final Four in 2008. Not a lot. Now, I want to let you know, if I feel at any moment that you are starting to get off the rails here and it's starting to upset and trigger me, then I promise you we will exit out of this conversation. I promise you we will abort. I don't want nothing to do with this. Now, Rob, I don't think I've ever asked you this question before. Where did you watch the national championship game at? Because I'll tell you my national championship story. I was in college at the time, and I was working at our student life center. So it was where people could go to the gym, they could play pool, table tennis, all of that stuff, right? So I worked on Sundays and Monday nights is when I would work. And I did that specifically because I could watch Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. So it ended up working out. Those are the days that I would work. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching the national championship. And Rob, let me tell you, I was kind of giddy. I really was. I was kind of giddy. I thought they were going to lose. And then watching Derrick Rose build a Habitat for Humanity brick house and those free throws. And then when Mario Chalmers hits that shot, at that moment, I knew that Kansas was going to win the national championship. Right then and there, I knew it. I didn't need to see what overtime was. We didn't have the gambling apps the way that we did now. I would have put all of my student loan debt on Kansas winning that game in overtime. I'd seen too many games at that point. So that's where I remember watching it. There's a couple of sporting events I remember very vividly from my time in college. So my freshman year was the year that the Cardinals won the World Series. So just our dorm every night, everybody was going crazy. about the Cardinals in the World Series, and when Kansas won the national championship. That was another one of those days on campus. They were celebrating. I was not participating in that celebration, but I do remember that night very well in the dorms.
I don't participate as a player.
I was not participating in that celebration. I was not going to do that.
I was still in high school at the time, so I decided to watch with my dad, who is still a KU fan. So he was a KU fan. I became a KU fan. We were KU fans together. So it was, hey, we're in the national title. We watched the 03 game together. That was not a great time. We then decided to watch the 08 national title together. So I was in my childhood home with my dad watching the Final Four and the subsequent national championship game. That's what I wanted to do, and that's where I was.
I don't remember. I'm sure you remember, and I'm sure you have some story. I don't really remember the semifinal all that well between Kansas and North Carolina. Now, I remember it was BTA. I do remember that. But it's kind of like once Kansas went up really big, I've just erased that part out of my mind. Like, I don't remember the second half of the game. I don't remember much else about it. I just remember you guys were really excited because you got your get back against Roy in the Final Four, and it started to go really poorly for North Carolina, and they started getting the absolute beats in that game. That's all I really remember. Maybe that's all I need to remember about it.
I remember that the CBS had a graphic. Brandon Rush points, North Carolina points. And at one point, Brandon Rush was outscoring North Carolina. It was, I remember the semifinal pretty good because there was the element of like, this is our chance to get back at Roy. And it felt a little bit, I don't have any ill will toward Roy anymore because of what happened that night. It was, you're right, BTA.
I mean, looking at the starting five for KU, man, you guys got to get back to the recipes. Listen to this starting five. Darrell Arthur, Darnell Jackson, Brandon Rush, Mario Chalmers, Russell Robinson. That's the Kansas Jayhawks that I'm used to.
And Sharon was the sixth man.
Yeah, then I'm looking at the guys off the bench. Cole Aldridge, Sharon Collins, Sasha Khan, who was on that team. Remember, he got drafted by the Cavs. He played in the league for a little bit. You guys used to be loaded with guys. What happened?
I mean, parody hit college basketball.
I'm just saying, you guys were loaded with talent at one point.
Also, that North Carolina team was also crazy loaded. I mean, that's the team that had Hansborough.
I got it up right here. It was their starting five was Deion Thompson, Tyler Hansborough, Marcus Ginyard, Ty Lawson, and Wayne Ellington was the team. Didn't they all come back and win the chip the next year?
Yeah, everyone
came back next year. Yeah,
they all came back next year and said, "Okay, that's not happening."
You want to know who I thought was a hooper? Ty Lawson in college was a hooper. I liked his game a lot. I was a Ty Lawson fan in that one. All right, you want to look at the other semifinal? So this was Memphis and UCLA.
This would have been Russ against Derrick Rose. I remember this was the one that everyone was prime, excited. It was billed as the bigger game. As a Kansas fan, I was a little jaded, but it was Derrick Rose against Russell Westbrook.
And it also ended up being a better game. It also ended up being a blowout. So Luke Baamute, forgot all about him. Josh Shipp, Kevin Love, Russell Westbrook, Darren Collison. That's not a name I haven't heard in a very, very long time. That was the UCLA starting five. That was the first time that we got all 4 1 seeds had made it to the Final Four. That was their team. Kevin Love didn't really play that well. Russell Westbrook, he played pretty well in that game. Both of those guys also went off to the league. Now that Memphis team, I really liked that Memphis team. Joey Dorsey, Robert Dozier, Derrick Rose, Antonio Anderson, Chris Douglas Roberts. How did Chris Douglas Roberts have a good NBA career? It's so puzzling to me. During that time, Chris Douglas Roberts was like the prototypical 3 in the NBA. I don't know how that didn't work out at the next level because he was a hooper this year at Memphis.
That's one of the bigger questions in the NBA. Now I was wrong. I thought he might be the best player on that team. Now the answer is Derrick Rose, but Chris Douglas Roberts did a little bit of everything. But it wasn't just like he was bad in the pros. He never did anything.
Yeah, I don't really understand honestly how that just didn't really work out for Chris Douglas Roberts at the next level. We're talking about Russell Westbrook. He announced that he was retired today. Going back, Robin, I'm looking at the box score from the KU and Memphis. This was the national championship game. KU outscored Memphis 12-5 in overtime. Why did Memphis even take the floor in the overtime? They should have just handed you guys the trophy right then and there.
I will say as a Kansas fan, rewatching and thinking about the game, after Chalmers hits the shot, I believe it's Rose has a half-court heave that, from the right angle, looks close.
Like it was going in?
Now, it wasn't close because, you know how where they position the camera, but there was a moment where oh, no, not like this.
So, in that game, the leading scorer, do you remember who KU's leading scorer was in the game?
In the national title?
Yeah, in the championship game.
It may have been Arthur.
Darrell Arthur scored 20 points on 9 of 13 shooting and 10 rebounds in the game.
Another guy who I thought would be a good pro.
I'm sitting here looking at it. Just show you how much basketball has changed so much. Now looking at this box score. Do you want to know how many threes KU took in that game?
They didn't make many. I know that.
Oh, they didn't. They only made 3. You know how many they took in the game? 12. Kansas took 12. They would take 12 by the first media timeout today, if that's how it was. The difference in the game is real simple. KU was 14 of 15 from the free throw line that day. Memphis was 12 of 19. That was the difference in the game right there. Right there in that moment was that. You know what? Now that I'm looking at this, Derrick Rose wasn't as bad free throw shooting wise if I had guessed. He was 3 for 4 from the line that day.
He missed one big one.
One huge free throw, and Chris Douglas-Roberts also missed a couple of big ones. Yeah. But if I just told you, what do you think Derrick Rose shot from the free throw line, you'd have told me 2 for 6 or 2 for 7. That's how we kind of tell the story today. No, he was 3 for 4 from the free throw line, but that one free throw he missed, they win the game if he makes that one free throw.
You're right. CDR missed. If any of them had made any of them,
for sure,
it would have been a very, very different outcome. Also, to that point about KU's bad shooting night, 2 of their 3 made threes happened in the final 3 minutes of that game. Really.
So then think about it. They took 13. That means they were 0 for 11 from 3 in the first 39 minutes of the game. And then, of course, Mario Chalmers hits the 3 to tie it. Just of course. Of course. What's that play called? Chop? Is that what y'all call that play?
Yeah. They've run that a bunch.
Yeah, they still run it. They would have ran a lot this past year with Darren Peterson, but his legs didn't really work.
Actually, they did run with Darren Peterson to tie the game in the second round. And then,
okay. Yeah, okay. All right,
then whatever happened, that little white kid who left St. John's made that bucket.
You know what? I know I'm doing a documentary on this time in KU's, but it's a football one. But you know what I just can't really imagine? Can you imagine what it would have been like for you to be in college during this time? Over a 7-month span, Kansas has the best football season that they've ever had. And then their team wins the national championship in the same school year, Rob. In the same school year. In the same school year, they win the Orange Bowl and win the national championship. That would have been a great time to be at the University of Kansas. Somebody should do a documentary just talking to the bar owners. What was it like during this time? I'm sure you made a lot of money.
I'm sure they all retired.
Yeah, for sure.
In May, they're like, we're good. We're better.
You know what? That's probably what happened to Joe College. Joe College made so much money off those T-shirts during this time. He made so much money that, he's out of here. Text line, some of you had to have been in college during this year. I can't imagine what it would have been like to be in college at KU in 2007, 2008. Just what a school year, The football games are great. They didn't lose a home football game. I'm going to also guess they didn't lose a home basketball game that year. Every football game, every basketball game they won. That just sounds like a really good time.
I'm trying to remember. They lost 3 games that year.
Just every Missouri story, 2011 was great. They lost to Kansas and they lost to Kansas and then got beat by Norfolk State in the first round of the NCAA tournament. That's how all the Missouri stories end. It's just always it was great. And then, that's how it ended. But it was great, though. The ride was great. The ride was fantastic.
Sometimes that's what college sports really is, though. Putting the key thing aside, college sports is kind of the, hey, wasn't that time great? You were in the national title? No. But it was still a great time.
No, it was a great time. No, it absolutely was. Actually, while we're here, we'll move on to basketball here in a little bit. What do you think K-State's team was during this time?
K-State actually had a good hoop team that year because that was Michael Beasley's year.
It was? I thought Beasley was the next year.
No, Beasley was 07-08.
Okay, yeah. I thought
so they go to the tournament.
Okay, I'm thinking 06-07. Okay, my bad. So 07-08. All right, you're right. That year they won the national championship.
That was Frank Martin's first year. Because 06-07's Huggins. He recruits Beasley. They don't let him leave his letter of intent. Under no circumstances you going anywhere.
He was going. Yeah, that team wasn't bad. Beasley, Bill Walker, and Jacob Pullen, they all were freshmen. That wasn't a bad team.
Now, their football team was cheeks, but that's...
Of course. That was the Ron Prince era. That's a dark time. That was a dark time in Kansas State athletics. Dominique Sutton was on that team, too. That was a good team. I kind of liked that team. I kind of missed that squad. That was a fun K-State year. You want to talk about a guy I don't get how it didn't work. I don't get how Michael Beasley wasn't better. Now, I think we have a little bit more clarity because of the court issues, but just Michael Beasley's the best basketball player I ever seen in person. If I'm talking in person in relation to the other players playing, I've seen LeBron play. I've seen other players play. But I mean When I saw Michael Beasley play basketball, I had never seen anything like that before. He was just so far advanced in everything else. Like, there had to be an athlete for you guys. We can talk about the Chiefs here in a bit. Has there ever been an athlete where you just realize there's no way we're the same age? Like, there's no way that you and I are the exact, like, Michael Beasley and I are the same age. No, we weren't. Not at this time. There was no way. Like, I look at him and everything he could do. I couldn't do any of those things. It was not realistic to be that skilled at basketball at 18, 19 years old. It wasn't. Michael Beasley's kind of one of those people. I'm sure you guys have had that person. Like, you were the same age as Darren Sproles. You're like, no, I'm not. He's so far advanced than me. One of my really good friends tells me the story of how he tried to tackle Bubba Starling in a football game. Like, no, you were not tackling him. He ran you over in that football game. Like, there's just some people that you're just thinking, no, you're not the same age that we are. Like, you should not be playing at this level. This is not fair to us, and this can't be fun for you to just come out here and just dunk on us and dominate us.
I mean, Michael Beasley, I wrong again. I thought Michael Beasley should have gone 1 in the draft over Derrick Rose. As a Kansas fan, I saw both very close, and I thought Beasley was the better player. But you're right. I think we've learned his off-the-court issues probably stopped him from being great.
Somebody said, "CDOT, I had just graduated the year before, so I missed all of this by a year. I would have went to graduate school during that time. I'd have went to go get my master's. You had to stay for 1 more year. You missed all the cool stuff. You missed all the cool stuff. If you graduated in May of 2007, you missed all the cool stuff at Kansas. I mean, they were still good at basketball during that time, but yeah, you missed the best football season ever, and they won the national championship for the first time in 30 years. Yeah, I would have got my master's degree during that time. That would have been the move.
Just keep going back. Hey, I'm gonna audit some classes just to be on campus.
Yeah, for sure. Someone just said I played against Albert Pujols 3 years in a row in college. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. That would have scared me, honestly. I don't know how that works. Somebody said they played against Alden Smith at Raytown. Another one of those guys. Like, I gotta block him. There's no way you're telling me that guy's 16 years old. There's no way. There's no way I'm 16 and he's 16. He is not built the way that I am. Not at all. Not at all. This was a fun trip down memory lane. Thank you, Rob, for allowing us to do this.
We can do this every day if you want.
No, you know what we won't be doing a whole lot of? You know how cool Kansas basketball was in 2008? That is not a topic.
We can pick a different year if you want. Just throw a dartboard. Like, how cool was this season?
I'm okay. I'm all right. It's the second week in a row we did that. We did that game last time with Mike Vernon. Yep. Fun game. I enjoyed playing that game. I'm okay. We don't have to do this every week.
What happens if Council and Trey White get cleared later this week? Can we just do this? Just talk KU basketball later in the week again?
It's okay, because Mark Mitchell's coming back then, if that's the case. Mark Mitchell's coming back.
He does have 5-5 eligibility.
Yeah, he can play one more year. I know. Mark Mitchell's going to play at Mizzou this upcoming season. You add Mark Mitchell to that team they got together. They got a chance to be pretty good this upcoming season. That's going to be
a very fun game at I almost said Sprint Center, T-Mobile Center, whatever the hell they're calling it.
It's Sprint Center. It's still Sprint Center. It's like that's like Sandstone for sure. One day they're going to call Morton Amphitheater something else. No, it's Morton. I don't know what you're talking about. That's what it is. All right, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit of football here. Here is Jason McCourty. So Patrick Mahomes is not going to play, at least in the first preseason game. Here's what Jason McCourty thinks about it.
A big impact, and I think to what Gras said, what Andy Reid is saying, like, we've done everything at practice to keep him safe. As a defensive player, Spagnuolo, their coordinator, he's sitting in meetings, and he is threatening the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Do not touch Patrick Mahomes. Do not get close to him. If it means losing your rep, lose the freaking rep. So I think when you're looking at Mahomes, if he hasn't played in any preseason games and all he's done is practice, well, now when you get to that Broncos game and it's Monday night and there's 6 guys standing at the line of scrimmage and Vance Joseph, their coordinator, is bringing the house, does he trust his knee to spin out and get outside the pocket? How does he feel from a mental standpoint of being able to plant and drive the ball down the field when someone's falling at his knees?
Could you simulate that in a practice? It's just not. They're not.
Can't, because you don't want to risk.
And you would tell your own team, "We're never going to do that."
Don't get close. You know, Chris Jones knows as a defensive lineman, if we want to get to where we want to get
merchandise.
We need 15 out there on the field. We're not going to injure him in practice.
All right, that is Jason McCourty. He was on ESPN. My stance is going to be real simple and real clear when it comes to this topic. I would like for Patrick Mahomes to play some form of the preseason. I don't really care how, don't really care when. I do think it would be in everybody's best interest if Patrick Mahomes got some live rounds that wasn't overly protected in training camp. I think it would be good. I think it would be good for Patrick Mahomes to get knocked down at some point in the preseason. Right now, I think you guys would agree, everybody is ultra cautious around Patrick Mahomes, which they should be. We're on the same team. You're our quarterback. We know your injury. We are going above and beyond to make sure that we don't hit you, we don't touch you, we want to keep you upright. That's not how football is played. Now, I'm not saying have him go out and be reckless in the preseason and have him do some wild and crazy stuff. No, not at all. But him playing a series where you run, all right, hey, we want to run a real offense here for one series. We're going to have you drop back. We're going to have you plant. We're going to roll out. We're going to see what you can do and what you can't do in a non-simulated situation, I do think is in the Chiefs' interest. That Broncos defense, what my worry would be is the Broncos obviously know what we know about them. And, we send in a lot of pressure. We're going to test him early on to see what he can and can't do. I'd like to kind of get some of those answers early on. Now, I'm not talking about playing Mahomes a half in the preseason, but I think one series to get out there, get a little bit of sweat, play one real down of football, and not you just coming out there and handing it off 4 times to Kenneth Walker. I do think that's a positive for the Chiefs. I do think that.
I am actually very happy me and you are on the same page. I want Patrick Mahomes to participate in the preseason. Now, we're on the same page here too. Participate means a series and go sit down. But football people have told me since the dawn of time, there is a value in the preseason. I think it was Mitch Holthus was about how the Chiefs are ahead of the curve because they still use the preseason and all these, Kubiaks and Shanahans and McVays, they don't use the preseason, and the Chiefs do, and it gets them ready for the season faster because the closest thing you can do to simulate real football is play football. Nate Taylor was on a podcast with Mitchell Schwartz, and he said Andy Reid once told him the best way to get better at football is to play football. So a part of me is a little bit nervous that Patrick Mahomes is not participating at all in the preseason. I don't think it is game speed. I don't think it is the same as week 1 with the Broncos, but I would like to see him play a series against the Rams. I'd like a series against the Bucks. I would like to see him out on the football field where he probably won't get hit because you can game script it up, but there's a chance and you protect yourself against it. I am surprised Andy Reid and co are going this direction. I think I would like to see him a little bit in the preseason.
Yeah, and we'll certainly see what happens. Text line 913-586-7965. How would you kind of handle Patrick Mahomes when it comes to the preseason? Again, I want to be real clear about kind of how I think he should be used. So, for example, Rob, last year he had 14 pass attempts in the preseason. 2 years ago, he had 18 in the preseason. 17 3 years ago. It's not like how he was in 2018. He had 43 pass attempts. Like, he needed more reps. He needed more game reps. I think letting him play real sparingly here, I'd play him in the second preseason game. I would not play him in this first one. I would not play him in the last one. Nobody plays in the first one. Nobody really plays in the last one. But that second preseason game, I'd let Mahomes, hey, we're gonna have you mentally prepare and train like it's game week. We want you to simulate and do all of the things. Let's have a conversation afterwards about what you feel, how your body responded to how you went out there, and then we can evaluate, and then we can go from there, and we can move forward for the course of the regular season. But at least for me, I don't want the first time he sees somewhat live bullets. I don't want that to be against the Broncos on Monday Night Football. I would love for that to be week 2 of the preseason, and I would say as much of a controlled atmosphere that you can. You just can't simulate playing football in that way. I know what they're doing at training camp, but you don't have pads on. They're not hitting you. You're not really in any danger. You can't simulate it that way. You can only play football by playing football. That's what I want to see him do, at least for a little bit.
I wholeheartedly agree. Now, one small difference I would make is I would have him in the first preseason game only because it's at home. So you give you're tossing your fans a bone. Hey, you get straddled paying for these preseason games. It's 3 o'clock on August 15th. It's 1,000,000 degrees outside. Hey, you get to see Patrick Mahomes. That's pretty neat, but I would play him some form or fashion in the preseason. I don't think him not playing the preseason means he's going to be bad or, oh man, he's, totally rusty or, unplayable in week 1, but just more chances at live bullets seems like a better way for it to handle Patrick Mahomes. And again, you can game script it up. Yeah, we're not running, quarterback option while in the preseason. You're running 3-yard hitches and slants, but just I want you to see another jersey out there.
Text line 913-586-7965. Curious what you guys think about Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't sound like he's going to play this weekend. I would not play him this week in the preseason, but again, I do want to see him get a little bit of time. We've been taking a little fun, nostalgic ride. Russell Westbrook retired earlier today. Rob, I'll read some text on the other side. Plus, I want to read to you an AFC West parlay. I want to know if you think this will cash. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hey, let me tell you guys about my friends over at Gates Barbecue. They are celebrating their 80th anniversary. I actually had Gates for dinner yesterday. Got myself that full slab of rib, got myself some fries, seasoned those bad boys up. Let me tell you that all locations are now serving the Burnt E Mac. So it's some phenomenal mac and cheese, and they put some of those Gates burn in. You can just get that as a meal by itself, or maybe you get yourself a beef on bun and you get that as a side as well. Maybe you want some onion rings instead of fries this time. You can go both. You can get the split. You can go half and half. So you get half Gates fries, half Gates onion rings. You also don't want to miss out on some of their specialty items, like the one over on Brooklyn has the chili. They also got chicken wings at the one over on Main. I like to get the little wing pack over there. You get 4 wings, some fries. It's always a fantastic deal. Whatever your barbecue needs are, so whether it's going to the store, whether it's going to the grocery store, or going on the website, whatever it is, make sure that you check out Gates Barbecue.
It's Chiefs season at Harrah's Kansas City. Every Saturday in August, the excitement kicks off at 6 p.m., where every 15 minutes until 10 p.m., one lucky guest will win up to $2,000 in free play. Then at 10 p.m., one grand prize winner will score a pair of Kansas City season tickets. Wear your red, bring your lucky game day spirit, and join us every Saturday in August at Harrah's Kansas City. Big prizes, big excitement. Don't miss your shot to win.
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Let's talk about the buying experience at Lewisburg Ford.
It's the best anywhere. Just ask all our customers, Toby. It is hands down the best experience you can have buying a new car. We have the no-hassle Toby Tobin price that we've had for 35 years now. Nobody else can say that. We've been saving Kansas City thousands and thousands of dollars for a lot of years.
I have been buying Ford cars and trucks from Lewisburg Ford for over 30 years, and I know personally this is the best place to buy a Ford car or truck. Great prices, but there's a whole lot more than that.
It doesn't just stop at price, Toby.
Yeah.
There's other factors to this equation, and it's trade-in allowance, financing, and the experience of how knowledgeable the people are that you're dealing with. And we surpass everybody in all those areas. We always have. We always will. That's why calling us is important.
Do you have that new pickup?
Absolutely. And it's dynamite.
Okay. Lewisburg Ford is your best place to buy a Ford car or truck. What's your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Lewisburg Ford or lewisburgford.com.
What if the thing you're listening to right now never got interrupted? What if it could play uninterrupted from room to room on Sonos? What if you start with 2 Sonos speakers just to see how it feels? What if you really like how it feels and you become a Sonos person who can't stop saying to their friends, what if you start with 2 Sonos speakers just to see how it feels? Because it's not magic, but it's not magic.
T-Mobile is launching something no other wireless network offers. Introducing Nothing.
Pay nothing today and walk out of the store with a new phone.
What did he say?
Nothing.
You definitely said something about nothing.
Exactly. Go to T-Mobile, pay nothing up front, and leave with a new phone.
Wait, nothing rules.
She gets it.
Hey, thanks for nothing.
For the first time ever, switch to T-Mobile, pay nothing. No taxes, no fees, no money down. And walk out with a new phone. There are 250 reasons to choose T-Mobile, and now nothing is holding you back.
On eligible devices with qualifying credit plan and 36-month finance agreement.
When it's time for a new water heater, trust the team that's been serving Kansas City for 75 years. For a limited time, buy a water heater and get a water filter 50% off. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
Tune in for the Fan Club Fridays at 1 o'clock with Cody and Gold, presented by Circus Sports. Want your shot at $30 million in guaranteed prizes? Enter one of Circus Sports' premier football contests. Visit circusports.com for details. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, we've got the crash that is working and big backup, 70 eastbound as you approach Nolan. Thought it was a broken down truck blocking the exit ramp right lane, but it looks like a crash. Okay, 70 eastbound at Nolan. Scoot to the left through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Follow this station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
All right, welcome back into the show. If you missed it, we were talking about the preseason and how you want the Chiefs to handle it. Here was Jason McCourty. Here's what he had to say on ESPN's Get Up.
A big impact, and I think to what Gross said, what Andy Reid is saying, like, we've done everything at practice to keep him safe. As a defensive player, Spagnuolo, their coordinator, he's sitting in meetings and he is threatening the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Do not touch Patrick Mahomes. Do not get close to him. If it means losing your rep, lose the freaking rep. So I think when you're looking at Mahomes, if he hasn't played in any preseason games and all he's done is practice, well, now when you get to that Broncos game and it's Monday night and there are 6 guys standing at the line of scrimmage and Vance Joseph, their coordinator, is bringing the house, does he trust his knee to spin out and get outside the pocket? How does he feel from a mental standpoint of being able to plant and drive the ball down the field when someone's falling at his knees?
Could you simulate that in a practice? It's just not. They're
you
not
can't because you don't want to risk.
And you would tell your own team, "We're never going to do that."
Don't get close. You know, as a Chris Jones knows as a defensive lineman, if we want to get to where we want to get
merchandise.
we need 15 out there on the field. We're not going to injure him in practice.
So that was Jason McCourty. He was on ESPN's Get Up about it. Somebody just said to him, "C-Dot, you're crying about Mahomes not playing in the preseason. Bo Nix isn't playing in the preseason either." I would also say that Bo Nix, who had 2 ankle surgeries in the last 6 months, should also probably play. Like, my stance isn't just a Mahomes thing. I think preseason has a value. I think preseason I think it should be a part of your team's plan. I don't think it should be how it was used 20 years ago, but I do think going out there, getting some reps, staying fresh, staying sharp, going up against somebody else, trying some different things, I do think there is a value for the preseason. I would just play a little bit of preseason. It's not like the Chiefs have just had a stance of Mahomes never plays in the preseason. He usually plays a little bit in the preseason. I just want to see them continue that this year. I would only play him in one game. I wouldn't play him the first game. I wouldn't play him the third game. I would play Patrick Mahomes in the second game. If he is healthy enough to do all of the things that they have him doing, and he has been practicing in full and total with them, like, they're giving a lot of guys limited. Snead practiced for a little bit, didn't practice. Trey Smith is getting days off. Like, Mahomes is out there every single day. If you think he's healthy enough to do that, to me, he's healthy enough to do one series in a preseason game. That's how I would handle it. All right, Rob, let me give you a parlay that I've created. This is the parlay. This is playing at plus 550.
Ooh,
so
that's a big one.
Yeah, big bet here. Chiefs over 9.5.
Their over-under's 9.5?
Over. I said it at
okay.
I said it at 9.5.
Sorry. I was like, whoa.
So Chiefs 10 or more wins.
Okay.
Maybe a better way of putting it. Chiefs 10 or more wins. Broncos 10 or more wins. Chargers 8 or more wins. Raiders 4 or more wins. Plus 550 right now on FanDuel. Do you think that this leg cashes? Who do you think screws me on my ticket? Because I think the Broncos, right now, I think the Broncos should be the favorite to win the division. I think Kansas City grabs one of those wild card teams. I think the Chargers will be good this year. I'm not necessarily as convinced as everybody else that they're going to take some massive step forward. So I give myself a little bit of wiggle room if I'm wrong about the Chargers. And I think the Raiders will be better this year. I don't think they'll be good by any means, but I don't think they're going to be the worst team in the NFL the way they were last year. I could see the Raiders winning 5 games or 6 this upcoming season. So Chiefs at least 10, Broncos at least 10, Chargers at least 8, Raiders at least 4. That right now is sitting at plus 550 on FanDuel.
That's a good question. Who screws you if you come up short? I think it might be the Broncos if you get screwed. I think if you're going to lose, I think it's the Broncos. Because I know we are hyper-focused on Mahomes here in Kansas City. We're hyper-focused on his health. You just mentioned it. Bo Nix had a very, very difficult injury later in the season and had a hang-up in the offseason with the surgery. So, like, everyone thinks it's status quo, Nix and Mahomes, here we go, week 1. If Bo Nix isn't ready for week 1, Jarrett Stidham's not an answer if he's still their backup quarterback. I truly don't know who their backup quarterback is if it's not Jarrett Stidham. So I think if Bo Nix isn't ready to go, they could come out of the gate slow, which could handcuff you. So if you say, hey, this bet didn't cash, tell me the why, I think the why is the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos to me, you and I have talked about it a lot over the course of this offseason as we're getting ready for the season. It really comes down to, do you believe in Denver or not? I haven't really got the tone that the text line is really a Denver believer a whole lot. Now, I don't think any of us believe in the Los Angeles Chargers. It kind of is what it is. We've been at this place with them for a very, very long time. Jarrett Stidham is back. Jarrett Stidham would be the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. So I think that Bo Nix is going to be healthy. I do think he's going to start the season. They'll put him out there. But I mean, the last time we saw, the last game the Broncos had, he was not eligible to play. He was hurt. He had the surgery. He then had another surgery. Now, what does that look like for Bo Nix? We don't know until the bullets are live.
That's why I don't think Denver is going to be bad. I could see a scenario where you say, this bet doesn't cash, tell me the why. I think the why could be Bo Nix isn't quite ready. Bo Nix isn't up to speed, and now a team that could be 12, 13, 14 wins is hovering around 9, 10, 11, and you might be sweating it to the end in a very difficult division. Now they leave you high and dry. I'm pretty confident in the Chargers' ability to get 8+ wins. A lot of people are saying the text line, chargering is going to be the problem. 8 wins doesn't seem that hard in the NFL to me for a team that we think has I know we vary on how good Justin Herbert is, but he's not some scrub. It's hard to lose more than 8 with that kind of quarterback.
I mean, it also ends up, if you want to do it, it ends up being basically the exact same parlay if you switch how I feel about the Broncos and vice versa with the Chargers. So you keep the Chiefs at their 10+, you keep the Raiders at 4 wins, and you put the Chargers with an over-under of 9.5, and you put the Broncos with the over-under at 8, that you think maybe the Broncos aren't the team they were last year, but they don't completely fall off the wagon and win 5 games this upcoming year. That basically pays out the exact same. That's at plus 505 right now. So if you want to swap out who you think is going to come in second place, I imagine a lot of you are picking the Chiefs to win the AFC West. If you want to swap out them two, it's basically the exact same parlay, plus 550 to plus 500 on how you see the division playing itself out.
I know we do this show in Kansas City, so people just think, oh, the Raiders are trash. I hate the Raiders, blah, blah, blah. The Raiders are going to get 4 wins. That feels like the safest bet on that list. If Fernando Mendoza is a thing, if he is a viable NFL quarterback, which I'm not even saying he's a star. Let's say he's a viable NFL quarterback. There's some really bad teams on the Raiders schedule. They play the Cardinals. They play the Dolphins. They play the Browns. They play a lot of bad teams. The Jets. I can see the Raiders, even in a season where maybe they don't take the step forward people hope, getting more than 4 wins. I don't think the Raiders are the number 1 overall pick again. I understand why people in the text line are saying the Raiders will screw you. I think the Raiders are actually one of the safer bets in that parlay.
Let me ask you a question about this, because maybe this is a false equivalent. So someone on the text line just sent in, CDOT, what do you think the value is of preseason in the year 2026? I said, I think it's the same value as training camp. Like, it is preparation, getting ready to get ready for the start of the season. And then his reply was, I think it's a fair one. See, if it's a testing ground, then I think it's fair. But why put proven players out there? This would be my question. Do you think this is apples and oranges? I don't know if we could celebrate Chiefs players fighting each other over the weekend. Your running back tackled your starting safety. Tackled him this past weekend. And we all like, man, that guy's a dog out there. And I don't have any problem with it. Hey, it's going to happen. Your starting left guard and one of your defensive linemen got into a fist fight a couple of days ago. That's pretty physical. I don't know if you can applaud that. And then when it comes to like, whoa, hold on, that's too much there. That's kind of where I am with preseason. Again, my stance on preseason is don't be stupid about the preseason. I'm not saying it should be how it was where you got guys playing 3 quarters and into the second half, but I see preseason football as an extension of training camp. Hey, we're out here, we're getting reps, and we're getting ready for the season. So I think getting those live reps, you should look at them like practice time. Hey, the same way that we're doing these 7-on-7 drills, the same way that we're doing these 11-on-11 drills, instead of doing them against us, it's a joint practice where you know those joint practices. I don't think that any team should sign up for those joint practices. Every time you see the Rams go to Minnesota's training camp, right, what do they do the whole time? It's getting fights. It end up turning into some big melee. This is at least controlled in how they're going to do this. We don't think there's a lot of game planning that's going on. It's mostly pitch and catch, see what you look up against live bullets. So I'm with you. Cyrus Allen is an important player. I don't want him to get hurt, but he also has to get live reps throughout the course of the season. And not playing in pads going up against Christian Roland Wallace is not best preparing you for the season. I think you have to do it. I know he's a rookie. He's on the example. But to me, I think training camp is important. I think preseason is important. I think we are starting to see that teams, to me, have overcorrected in the preseason, and now they are so risk-averse to it that your team could potentially start slow. Remember how Cincinnati has always started? There was a 4-year stretch there where Cincinnati, Burrow didn't play any preseason football. We're like, hey, why do they keep starting the season so low? Because you practice how you play. You don't practice with any level of intensity. And now when you get to the game where it's going to throw you in, this isn't college football. You don't get to play Middle Tennessee State in week 1 to knock off some of the rust. No, week 1, you play the Broncos. That's a big jump up in intensity. I would just like to ramp up my preparation as we get to the season. So I actually think that training camp and preseason holds a little bit of value there. It doesn't have to be the old value, but I do think it has some value. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive.
My man Carrington Harrison.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, we've got the crash that is working and big backup, 70 eastbound as you approach Nolan. Thought it was a broken down truck blocking the exit ramp right lane, but it looks like a crash. Okay, 70 eastbound at Nolan. Scoot to the left through here. I'm now with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
FanDuel is giving new customers up to $1,000 in bet resets. Bet $5 daily and unlock $200 in bet resets every day. That's right. New customers can place a $5 bet each day and receive up to $200 in bet resets, up to $1,000 in total. So whether you're betting money lines, player props, or same-game parlays, remember that FanDuel has you covered. Place your daily $5 bet and unlock up to $1,000 in bet reset. Summer is here, and that still means baseball season with our friends over at FanDuel. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. Remember, FanDuel is your place for home runs. FanDuel is an official partner of Major League Baseball and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Minimum $5 wager required for 5 consecutive days. Bonus issue is novel drawable bet reset tokens. Refund from tokens issued as novel drawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Max refund of $200 per day. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Dana Hughes. In Kansas City football, we honor tradition, but we always look forward to what's next. That's why I'm all in for Flight by Yingling. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, but built for today. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, crisp, clean, and full of flavor, just the way a light beer should be. It's got the legacy and the stats to back it up. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Dana Hughes. D.G. Yingling and Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
$30 million in guaranteed prizes you can cash in this football season out in Las Vegas with 3 Circa Sports contests. Entries starting at $1,000, all with zero rake. Circa Million. 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 ways to win. Or Circa Survivor. You pick one winner each week, the last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo with a $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere, $30 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
I've been able to resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold up.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatments, your body's own biologics, to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hop in a John Deere Gator XUV for a day's work. Let's see what's on the to-do list. There goes the tree. And the fence. Not a problem. Because you've got a cargo box filled with solutions. Up to 4,000 pounds of towing capacity. And you're ready to roll.
The power's out!
Here we go again. The Gator XUV, built for every kind of workday. Learn more at johndeere.com/Gator XUV. Nothing runs like a deer.
Tune into the Chiefs' first preseason game against the Rams, Saturday, August 15th with pregame at 2 and kickoff at 3. Right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, Rob, you know what I want the 4 o'clock hour to be? I want us to be best case scenario. I want to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, and I want to talk about them under the guise of what if everything works? Can we do that? Because sometimes I think you guys get mad at me for pointing out hey, what if it doesn't work out how you think it's going to work out? I kind of feel like you have to talk about both sides of it. But maybe you don't think we talked about that enough, Rob. Why don't we talk about best case scenario? You want to start at quarterback? I got no problem starting at quarterback. Is the best case scenario is that the old Patrick Mahomes returns? I mean, that has to be the answer, right? I don't think I'm speaking out of turn. These last 3 years have not been the best version of Patrick Mahomes. He's been kind of human these last 3 years. He hasn't thrown 30 touchdown passes in a season since 2022. In 2022, dynamic. 5,000 passing yards, 41 touchdowns. The year before that, 4,800 passing yards, 37 touchdown passes. I mean, we're talking about these are all-time incredible numbers. These last 3 seasons, Mahomes has not been one of those kind of quarterbacks. If you want to go off what the average for him is for the last 3 years, it is 66% completion percentage, 3,800 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Just reading it, that is not the best quarterback in the National Football League. Now, obviously, you got to factor in playoffs and all of those things. Isn't just the best case scenario is the running back room is going to open things up on the outside, and this wide receiver room is going to solidify to give Patrick Mahomes the support that I think every quarterback needs in order to be dynamic. Because if you look at the best version of Mahomes, you kind of liked their wide receiver room. You liked their tight end room. Maybe it's not going to be how it was in 2021 or when Tyreek Hill was here, but isn't it very simple? The guys around Patrick are better, so Patrick will be better. Like, isn't it really that simple? They have given him something that he's never had before. This is the best running back he's ever had for a full season. I know we had Kareem for a little bit early on in that first season with him as a starter. But from start to finish, not expecting Kenneth Walker to be kicked off the team before the biggest game of the season on Monday Night Football, I think it is very consistent run game. Wide receiver room is ready to take the next step. And therefore, you have given Patrick Mahomes more than enough is what he's going to need. You invested in the offensive line. You've invested in the running back room. You got back the old offensive coordinator. You are starting to put him in a much more familiar situation in which he doesn't have to do everything or feel like he has to do everything, and the game can come to him a little bit more naturally, and guys are making plays. And there's not any quarterback in the league that I trust more to be a facilitator and a point guard and put guys in the right position more than the Chiefs quarterback. So isn't that the best case scenario for Mahomes, is that we just find a time machine and he goes back to 2020, 2021, 2022 when he was putting up video game numbers?
That is the best case scenario. And if you were someone, I'm not saying you were this person, if you were someone saying, hey guys, passing was depreciated across the league last year. I mean, Matt Stafford was great at 46 touchdowns and 4,700 yards, but no one's throwing for 5,050 anymore. I think, and people might bristle the name, but best case scenario for Mahomes is he's basically what Dak Prescott was last year. Dak Prescott had 4,500 passing yards last year, 30 touchdowns, only 10 picks, and a completion percentage of 68%. If Mahomes is 30-plus touchdowns, near or just under 10 picks with 4,500-plus yards, the Chiefs are going to be really, really good in 2026. So I do think 2021 and 2019 and those numbers are kind of unattainable, not just because of the Chiefs, but because of the way the NFL works now. Defense is kind of caught up for a little bit. But I think if he can be a Dak Prescott, Jared Goff type of player next year, the Chiefs are in a really good spot.
Let me ask you this. Where do you think Patrick Mahomes is in touchdown passes over that time frame? So the last 3 seasons, 23, 24, and 25. Where do you think he is in touchdown passes in the league?
Probably in between 12th to 15th.
9th.
Okay.
He's 9th. He is tied with Joe Burrow, and Brock Purdy has 71 touchdown passes during that time. Patrick Mahomes is 5th in yards over those 3-year stretch. So still pretty
Very good. Yep.
Yeah, still pretty good. You know where things got real spooky for Patrick Mahomes? And this is where I am hopeful, if we're going best case scenario here, that they can open things up. Rob, you want to know where he is in terms of yards per attempt over those 3-year stretch? He's 20th in terms of yards per attempt. He's behind Russell Wilson in terms of yards per attempt the last 3 seasons in the National Football League. This is a guy that at his absolute peak, we're talking about 8 yards an attempt, 9 yards an attempt. I mean, back in 2018, it was 8.8 yards per attempt. Last year, it was 7.1. 2 years ago, it was 6.8 in yards per attempt. So he is just a less dynamic and less prolific passer when he drops back. It is getting those numbers back on the uptick. That's what it is. I think we all think of Patrick Mahomes as being a superhero, and I think he is. I think he's the best quarterback in the National Football League. The hope is that now with Eric Bieniemy, you add Kenneth Walker, you have Rashee Rice there from the very, very beginning. You can just hit the ground running and put up those numbers. Those 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, offensive player of the week. I'm like that kind of numbers. I think at times it has appeared to be very frustrating for Patrick Mahomes, and it's either been the lack of communication between he and the offensive coordinator. It's been frustration with some of the weapons. He was ready to rip Kadarius Toney's head off when he was here. There is no excuse, at least in terms of not knowing the system, for most of this team. Kenneth Walker is a little different. He played running back. But your number 1 wide receiver has been in this system now for a few years. Your number 2 wide receiver has been in this system. Your number 3 wide receiver was here last year. You got the best rapport with the tight end who is really good at finding in space. Your offensive line is basically the same from last year. There's a lot of continuity on that offense to really build from what you've been doing. You bring Eric Bieniemy in, a new messenger, a drill sergeant to keep guys in line. There should be a clear expectation of this offense taking a step forward, and it starts with your quarterback just being better.
And it's not like we're asking him to be better, and it's like, can't take a step forward and be better statistically than he's ever been. we're asking him to get back to being him.
For sure.
In that 3-year stretch where you're describing, does anyone feel like they were seeing that's what Patrick Mahomes is? Now, maybe in another 4 or 5 years, and this is the trend, we'll look back and we're the idiots who said, oh, we should have seen the writing was on the wall. He was regressing. We just didn't see it. I don't think those 3 years are a sign of large-scale regression. I think it's just he got away from whatever it was, whether it's offensive coordinator, whether it's, his tight end got older, whether his pass catchers got worse. I don't know what the it is. But I think Patrick Mahomes can still go find that it. We talk about him like Brady. Brady could get it going, no problem. In Tampa, he was like 62 years old and was still, flinging the ball over the yard. Patrick Mahomes, get back to doing what you do. You are the best quarterback in the NFL. Go flex and go show it again.
I don't know if this counts as best case scenario, so text line if it doesn't. Please tell me I'm wrong and we'll quickly abort from this conversation. Do you trust Eric Bieniemy? And do you trust Chad O'Shea to fix the down the field issues? Because that's a part of it, at least with this conversation. Now, I'm with the text line. The text line is saying the yards per attempt is a supporting cast conversation. I'm not with you. I think part of this conversation is, and we've seen this before, is the lack of accuracy down the field in those intermediate too deep throws. You're not going to complete a high percentage of them. There's a reason why they're 25, 30 yards down the field. But if the Chiefs could get 20% better at down the field throws this upcoming season, and then you factor that in the fact that we all know their offensive production is going to be better because they're going to run the football more effectively. If they can just get 20% better on deep throws and run the ball like I think they can run the ball, that's a top 10 offense in the National Football League. You don't got to change anything else. Be a little bit better on those deep passes, where right now, let's say they connect 2 out of every 10, 1 out of every 10. Can you up that just a little bit, and can you go from having a bottom 5 running back room to being a pretty good running back room? If you can do that, the quarterback will just be better.
And in 2 of the years we mentioned, 2 of them, where the yards per attempt was down, 2023 and 2024, he was back to being that guy in the postseason. In 2023, you mentioned his yards per attempt were down. He was still at 7.6 in the postseason. In 2024, 2 playoff games, and I guess 3, including the boat race against the Eagles, his yards per attempt were 8.2. That guy still exists. The person that is throwing the ball down the field with relative success in the Super Bowl in 24, in the postseason in 23, let's get back to him existing in September. Let's get back to that guy being on the field at Halloween. Because the playoff stats versus the regular season stats, I understand the games mean more, blah, blah, blah. But in 2024, regular season, 6.8 yards per attempt. That's bad. The same postseason, 8.3. So I think whether it be Bieniemy, whether it be play calling, whether it be Mahomes, whether it be O'Shea, he can get back to that. Because I saw 2 years ago, it existed when he wanted to do it. So go do it again. Keep doing it.
Give me your numbers for Patrick Mahomes' best case scenario. That's all we're talking this whole hour. Best case scenario. Give me your Patrick Mahomes' best case scenario for yards thrown.
4,500 plus.
Okay.
Which would put him at 2-3 in the NFL based on last year's stats.
Give me your Patrick Mahomes' best case scenario touchdown passes.
30 to 35, which again would probably put him second, third in the NFL based on last year's stats.
If he does that, he's winning MVP.
Yes, I think he is a candidate for MVP.
If he throws for 4,500 yards and 35 touchdown passes, he will be the NFL MVP because the Chiefs will win their division. They will be very, very good this season. And
it would take a Herculean Stafford type of season to unseat
I would say
him.
we're also past the point of voter fatigue with Patrick Mahomes, too.
True.
Like, if Patrick Mahomes is worthy, we're not going to argue, well, you got to give it to, no. Coming off an ACL tear and your team wins 6 games last year, if you put up this kind of season, you win your division and you're the 2 seed, Patrick Mahomes is going to win NFL MVP, and we will all push for him to win the award. 4,500 yards, 35 touchdown passes, best case scenario for Patrick Mahomes. Do you got him throwing double-digit interceptions again? He's done that now for 5 consecutive seasons.
I think best case scenario is he breaks that trend.
Okay.
We're talking best case.
No,
I think best case is
asking. I mean, 5 straight years he's throwing double-digit
gets back under that threshold.
So we got 45, 35, and 8?
8 or 9, yeah.
Okay. All right. So you kind of have him what he did in 2020. This is basically his 2020 season.
Yes.
In 2020, he completed 66% of his passes, 4,700 yards, 38 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions. He was phenomenal. He finished 3rd MVP that year, but, I mean, there's voter fatigue. They couldn't just give it to him. He couldn't just keep winning every time.
Yeah. I mean, it's the LeBron effect.
All right.
That is, by the way, so the text line's like, you guys are tripping. This is the best case scenario.
well, I mean, just you can't worry about that. Whenever I was telling you realistic scenario, they were mad anyway. We can't worry about that. It's best case scenario is what it is. Best case scenario. Rob, you ready to do it? It's time to do running backs. It's time to do wide receivers. It's time to do skill position players coming up. Best case scenario, we'll do it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Your home for all things Chiefs football and Royals baseball.
I'm a professional complainer.
Is The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan.
Do you feel like you're just not the man you used to be? Are you experiencing low energy, poor sleep, brain fog, workouts that aren't getting you the gains that you're used to? Maybe the weight's a little bit harder to lose, or the sex drive just isn't where it needs to be. Could be low testosterone. And over at Heartland Men's Health, they have an experienced medical team that specializes in diagnosing and treating low testosterone and other hormonal issues with a personalized treatment plan that may include TRT and other advanced therapies. Many men report having more energy, better workouts, improved sleep, sharper focus, and renewed confidence after treatment. You can take a free low T quiz over at heartlandmenshealth.com, schedule a consultation. You'll receive lab work. You'll renew your results with a licensed medical provider and discuss the treatment options that are right for you. So don't settle for feeling less than your best. Pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, and call my friends at Heartland Men's Health today, or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com. It's time to start feeling like yourself again.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
What if the thing you're listening to right now never got interrupted? What if it could play uninterrupted from room to room on Sonos? What if you start with 2 Sonos speakers just to see how it feels? What if you really like how it feels and you become a Sonos person who can't stop saying to their friends, what if you start with 2 Sonos speakers just to see how it feels? Because it's not magic, but it's not magic.
T-Mobile is launching something no other wireless network offers. Introducing Nothing. Pay nothing today and walk out of the store with a new phone.
What did he say?
Nothing.
You definitely said something about nothing.
Exactly. Go to T-Mobile, pay nothing up front, and leave with a new phone.
Wait, nothing rules.
She gets it.
Hey, thanks for nothing.
For the first time ever, switch to T-Mobile, pay nothing. No taxes, no fees, no money down. And walk out with a new phone. There are 250 reasons to choose T-Mobile, and now nothing is holding you back.
On eligible devices with qualifying credit plan and 36-month finance agreement.
Hi, I'm Tom Shane, third-generation owner at Shane Company. As a family jeweler for almost 100 years, we're known for doing right by our customers. Our legacy of integrity depends on it. We stand behind our engagement rings with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We handpick the most beautiful diamonds, then negotiate for the best price. At Shane Company, we put you first because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Kansas City is buzzing this summer, and the excitement keeps rolling into August at the Advent Health Championship, Kansas City's only professional golf tournament, August 20th through 23rd at Blue Hills Country Club. Watch the next generation of PGA Tour stars compete for their shot at the big stage. Follow your favorite player, enjoy the action from greenside, or upgrade to an all-inclusive hospitality experience. With tickets starting at just $10, there's something for everyone. Keep your summer going. Get your tickets today at AdventHealthChampionship.com.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like public works supervisor.
Hey, this waterman is under a ton of pressure. Did you ever fix it?
Yeah, 3 layers of duct tape. Wait, should I have added a 4th layer?
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Crash show, let's see, 29 northbound. As you approach front, it's going to be the 2 right lanes that are blocked. Okay, not so big of a backup yet. I do see some yellow, but scoot to the left through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, right now for the entire 4 o'clock hour, we are discussing the best case scenario for the Chiefs. We'll get to the defense here coming up in a bit. For Patrick Mahomes, best case scenario, 4,500 yards, 35 touchdowns, single-digit interceptions. Patrick Mahomes has not thrown single-digit interceptions in each of the last 5 seasons. He always goes through that weird stretch where he just throws like 1 a game for 6 weeks, and then it magically always fixes itself when it gets to the postseason. But back in 2020, I mean, this is a strong year. 4,700 yards, 38 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions. That's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, Rob, you ready to go to running back? I'll let you go first on running back.
Don't make me go first.
I'll let you go first on running back. Give me Kenneth Walker's best case scenario. So let me give you Kenneth Walker's numbers the last couple of years because maybe that factors in. Kenneth Walker has never ran for 1,100 yards. His rookie season, 28 carries, 1050. Last year, 221, 1027. Never had double-digit rushing touchdowns in a season, but just because you didn't do it in Seattle doesn't mean you can't do it in Kansas City. What do you think is the best case scenario for Kenneth Walker heading into the year?
1,100 yards.
Okay. Career year?
Career year. I think he can do it on 245 to 250 carries, which I think is probably coming. I think they're going to use and abuse Kenneth Walker. I don't think they plan on keeping him for a long time. I think it's a short, great time. So I think I'm looking at last year how running backs fare in the NFL. Around 250 carries, 1,100 yards. That basically be Travis, is it ETN? Whatever he's calling himself now.
I got it right here. I got it pulled up. So, yeah, what you just said, 100% accurate. Last year, Travis A-Chain, that's how he pronounces it.
Stupid change by him, but whatever.
Yeah, you know what? He's still Travis Etienne to me. If you want to call him that, that's perfectly fine with me. Last year, Travis A-Chain, 260 carries, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns.
I think Walker's touchdowns will be higher, but I think that's around the yardage I anticipate him getting.
Okay.
I think his touchdowns will be more like 8-9.
Okay.
So a little bit better, but not,
So kind of like what DeAndre Swift was last year. Last year, DeAndre Swift
yes,
had 223 carries. He had a little less than 1,100. He had 1087, and he had 9 touchdowns last year. I actually think DeAndre Swift, and I think that Kenneth Walker is a better running back, but I think if you're kind of using the Chicago model from last year, I think the best case scenario is actually not really in Kenneth Walker. I think the best case scenario is that they have something really special in Emmett Johnson. I think we all know what Kenneth Walker is going to be. I'd be surprised if Kenneth Walker had 700 yards, and if it wasn't by injury. I'd be a little surprised if Kenneth Walker had 1,500 yards, and we were talking about him being in the conversation of all-pro running back. I'd be a little surprised on both ends. But I think Kenneth Walker is going to be somewhere in that range, somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200 yards. That's not the best case scenario to me for the running back room. The best case scenario to me is Emmett Johnson has like 700 yards this year, and it's not because somebody was injured. It's because they have a true DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monungai situation. They got we got a legitimate number 1 and we got a legitimate number 2 thunder and lightning combination. And we look at Emmett Johnson at the end of the year as, wow, that was a real diamond in the rough. The Chiefs finally did, Rob, what you've been telling them to do for the last couple of seasons. You didn't want the Chiefs to go get Kenneth Walker or spend big money or trade for Breece Hall. You wanted them to, in the mid-rounds, trade a draft pick and see if you hit. And that's exactly what they tried to do with Emmett Johnson. So I know I asked the question about Kenneth Walker. I don't think that we're going to be that far off on what the best case scenario is. Best case scenario is probably 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns if everything goes right this year for Kenneth Walker. The running back room is they really got something special with Emmett Johnson, and he is one of the finds in the draft at the running back position.
So you think, I'll make a one-for-one comparison. You think the Chiefs' best case scenario for the running back room is that Kenneth Walker and Emmett Johnson is basically what Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet were last year.
For sure.
Without Charbonnet getting hurt, I guess that because Charbonnet was 700-yard guy before he got hurt with 10-ish touchdowns. That is probably the best case scenario for the room. But I do think Kenneth Walker is an 1,000 to 1,100 yard back is best case scenario.
Like, I'm looking at it, and I understand their offenses are different. Could they be what Detroit had? Now, I don't think that Kenneth Walker is Jahmyr Gibbs, but I mean, David Montgomery last year had 700 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns last year. Like, David Montgomery was very good last season for them. Could you get 600 yards from Emmett Johnson? And these are just yards that we are not accounting for. And he ends up being a really big surprise. And then Kenneth Walker is the Kenneth Walker. That's what you sign him for. You sign him to be a 1,000-yard, dependable, play at least 15 games, super reliable kind of player. I think that's the best case scenario for the room. DeMercado, I think you kind of know what he is at this point. He's a veteran running back. He'll get some carries sparingly, but I think I kind of know what his ceiling is. That's what I think the best case scenario is.
I mean, it's going to sound negative, but the best case scenario is that DeMercado gets to collect dust on the sideline. Like, he gets to watch the game from a great
Or he's
seat.
just pass block guy.
Yeah.
Like, you got him in on third down, and he's, instead of bringing an extra offensive lineman, you got him in for mass protect. It's an obvious passing down. DeMercado is going to protect your quarterback. Yeah, I'm with you. I think the best case scenario is you don't use DeMercado a lot as the season progresses. All right, it's going to be fun now. It's time to get to wide receiver.
Let's just start with Rice. Want to start with Rice?
Yeah, to me, Chris Olave.
We're on the exact. Look at us. I literally have Chris Olave's stats pulled up right here. Perfect. We don't have to talk more about it. You're right, Chris Olave.
If he's Chris Olave, I'm thrilled.
Elated.
100 catches, 1163, 9 touchdowns. If that's the season you get from Rashee Rice this season, we will be having a conversation in February on should you franchise tag Rashee Rice. Because, Rob, that is not a receiver that teams usually just hit free agency. That's normally not how it works. If your guy has almost 1,200 yards receiving, he is not just going to play for the Tennessee Titans at the end of the season and you're hoping that you get a compensatory pick. No, that's not how this works. So you might do a franchise tag and trade, or you franchise tag him and you just play it out another year and see if he can continue to keep his head above water. Maybe that's how you play this. But yeah, Chris Olave to me would be the best case scenario, I think, for him this upcoming season. He was a very, very good receiver last year. Chris Olave was 8th in the NFL in receiving yards last year. So Chris Olave, Nico Collins, one of those two. More than thrilled if that's what he turns out to be.
There's no point in me wasting time disagreeing. I literally had Googled Chris Olave stats, and I had them all ready to go. I was ready to have a whole Chris Olave conversation.
No, yeah, you're on the same page.
We had the same player. Now this one will be fun. Xavier Worthy. You get to go first on Worthy.
Best case scenario?
Best case scenario. That's the game.
Deebo Samuel from last year. Deebo Samuel last year had 72 catches for 727 yards and had 5 touchdowns.
I was going to say Ladd McConkey. 66 catches, 789. Little better yard per catch, too, because he's a little more deep threat option. But I think 7...
I like your answer. I can live with Ladd McConkey.
Ladd McConkey is what I said.
Okay.
Because then you're getting... It's average per game is like 50 yards per game, but his average catch and target was 7.4, so he is a little more... Hey, we don't hit on the times throwing the ball every time, but when we do, we get big plays. Yards per reception.
I'm not mad at Ladd McConkey.
Yeah, Ladd McConkey.
I mean, If he has a Ladd McConkey, you're there picking up his fifth-year option.
No doubt.
If he has 66 catches for 789 and 6 touchdowns this year, we are not having a conversation about what are they going to do in the offseason. They're picking up his fifth-year option, and they're going to play out the rest of his rookie contract. I'm not paying him at the end of year 3. You can at the end of the season. I'm not paying you based off that, but we are absolutely picking up your fifth-year option. It's just cost-effective for us to be able to pick up your option. So, all right, we got Chris Olave, Nico Collins for Rashee Rice. We got Ladd McConkey, Deebo Samuel. I won't even fight you. I'll just put down Ladd McConkey. We're only talking in best-case scenario. Give me that for Tyquan Thornton.
Tyquan Thornton's such a tough one.
Thornton's tough.
I don't know what to do with Tyquan Thornton.
Thornton's tough for this reason, on why I think it's tough. You usually aren't going to have as few yards as he had last year for as good of a yards per catch as he had last season. Just to give you an idea, the guy directly in front of him in yards, so he had 238. The guy who had 239 averaged 8.6 yards per catch, and the player right below him had 6.3 yards per catch. He had 23 yards per catch. So usually, if you have that dynamic of a season, you're just a little bit more involved in the offense than he was last year. But we're not talking about that. It's best case scenario. Is it crazy that I actually think his best case scenario is last year's version of Xavier Worthy?
I had Hollywood Brown from last year as what I thought best case scenario was.
I think 600 is a little bit high for him. Like, if we're just saying, like, to me, if we're talking about Tyquan Thornton got 600 yards this year, either Patrick Mahomes threw for 5,000 yards, which just goes against the 4,500 we just did, or an injury happened. You just got to think about all the other mouths to feed here. Kenneth Walker's going to catch the ball out of the backfield. We think Cyrus Allen's going to take up a little bit of market share. All of these guys. I just don't know if there's enough offense for Tyquan Thornton to have 600 yards receiving this season.
That's fair. I had him at 587, but yeah, it's probably more like Worthy, Eric Ayomaner from the Titans, 515, 535. That's probably best case scenario.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to go Hollywood Brown, I mean, that was their wide receiver, but he actually had their most wide receiver yards last year, which is crazy to think that Hollywood Brown had the most wide receiver yards.
It's also why they were 6 and 11
for the Kansas City Chiefs, but he did with 587. Worthy last year had the third most. So Brown was 1, Rashee Rice was 2, and then Xavier Worthy was 3rd. Yeah, if you told me right now that you're going to get 42 catches for 532 yards from Tyquan Thornton, I'd be excited about it. He had 19 catches last year. This bumps him up to 42. This makes him a legitimate part of your offense. Last year, he got 37 targets. Xavier Worthy got 73. So we're going to double your usage and throw you the football a lot more and just give you more opportunities to make plays. Yeah, I think he would take 532.
Yeah, I would say 532 is yes, I would take that. I'm also looking at other players like Mac Hollins had 550. We're in the same ballpark of what he should be yards-wise. We just had different players for it.
All right, the text line is saying, what about Shaheed? What about Rashid Shaheed for Tyquan Thornton?
What did Shaheed?
He had 687 last year and 2 touchdowns.
That seems north of what he'll do.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
That seems
we're talking best case scenario here.
I mean, if that best case scenario
if he has almost 700 yards, I think an injury happened.
Yes. Or... yeah, I can't think of, or Rashee Rice broke the law again.
Yeah, something terrible would happen if that happened. Because I'm just saying I don't know how, even in best case scenario, and I'm happy to continue having this conversation, I don't know if Tyquan Thornton can hit his best case scenario. Cyrus Allen also hit his best case scenario, and everything went right. Like, something went wrong with Worthy, and Worthy missed significant time, which has allowed those guys more of an opportunity. Or, to what your point was, Rice got hurt again, Rice got in trouble again off the field, and now you're forced to use these kind of guys. That's why I think Thornton, if you're going to give the best case scenario for those other guys, I think his ceiling has to be a little bit lower if everybody's healthy and on the field.
Yeah, I would agree 600 is north of what I would say for Thornton. Thornton is one of the tougher ones to do, because like you said earlier, he doesn't get the ball a lot, but when he does, big yards. But yeah, I would agree that's kind of the number I have him at.
Okay. All right, somebody said, don't forget Jeff Caldwell. You want to go Jeff Caldwell, best case scenario?
Makes the roster. I nailed it.
I was going to say practice squad.
You said best case scenario. Makes the roster. He makes it over Andrew Armstrong. There you go.
Yeah, I don't think Jeff Caldwell's making the 53-man roster.
This is the best case scenario.
Okay, you're right. My bad. You're right. I can't give you my prediction. Best case scenario is he's on the team.
Makes the roster.
100%. You're right. My bad.
That means worst case scenario for Andrew Armstrong, but tough break. That's the game.
My bad. You're 100% correct. You're right. My bad. Best case scenario is he's on the 53-man roster and he's just inactive every single week. That would be the best case scenario for Jeff Caldwell.
I'm fascinated. You thought Tyquan Thornton was hard. Cyrus Allen is going to be crazy.
No, you go first. I don't want to do it. You go first.
Jalen Coker.
Give me Cyrus Allen's best case scenario this year. Everything goes right for Cyrus Allen. What does he do?
Jalen Coker. 30-some-odd catches for 300-some-odd yards.
Oh, I think his best case scenario is much higher than that, actually.
Really?
Best case?
He's the at best case scenario. Even in a best case scenario world, he's pass catcher 5.
I actually don't think that's the case for best case scenario, though.
Really? You think he jumps Thornton?
Best case scenario is he takes somebody's job. That's what best case scenario is. Best case scenario is once they start playing real football games, he becomes wide receiver number 2.
Okay, so what's his best case? So you're going to be a lot higher on him as best case than I am.
Ricky Pearsall from last year.
That's like 600 yards.
You said best case scenario. Best case scenario is that once they start playing games, they realize that he is better than Xavier Worthy. He is more reliable than Tyquan Thornton. They really have something with him. He's Romeo Dobbs. He's Dontavian Wicks. And they start using him like he's wide receiver number 2 in the middle of the season. I don't think that's how it's going to start. We know the Chiefs. They do this all the time. For the first month of the season, you will be frustrated in how they use them. But the best case scenario is they always seem to wake up in the middle of October and they seem to listen to one of the suggestions that their fan base has. The fan base saw Isaiah Pacheco way sooner than they saw it with Isaiah Pacheco. The fan base was telling you all training camp, that guy's better than that guy.
Juan Thornhill.
It took them a little bit for them to be able to figure it out. So the best case scenario is they figure it out sooner rather than later, and then you start to notice, hey, this guy's playing less and less and less. Hey, Cyrus Allen actually is on the field a little bit more than Tyquan Thornton. Hey, Mahomes really trusts him and is really using him. And then we look up and it's like, wow, he played in 55% of their snaps. They got one of those guys. So, yeah, I actually think the best case scenario is a little higher than you are. I'll give you another one. Mac Hollins.
Yep, 550. Yep.
Mac Hollins, 550. 46 catches, 550 yards, 2 touchdowns as being a wide receiver 2/3 for the Chiefs.
I just don't know. And even in the best case scenario world, the Chiefs are so slow to react. It's hard for me to think that guy's jumping that level of depth chart. But that is an interesting best case scenario.
Okay.
I think Kelce's pretty easy, by the way.
All right.
Be Travis Kelce again. Is that what you have for Travis Kelce's best case scenario?
Say it one more time. I was reading the text, man.
For Travis Kelce, best case scenario, just be Travis Kelce again, right? Like, be the exact same player. 850, 5 touchdowns, 37 years old. That's the best case scenario.
Is that the best case? Because I would say that's just the expected case. Like, I'm with you. I think going into the season, the expectation is that Travis Kelce is going to have 800 yards.
That's fair. I mean, I get that. I also tell you, like, not a lot of tight ends get 1,000 yards, like, just looking at it.
I don't think he is getting 1,000 yards. That's not me even saying he's old wash. I don't think he's getting to 1,000 yards. But best case scenario is he just continues getting 100 targets the way that he got last year. He got 100 targets last year. You get Travis Kelce 100 targets this year, he's going to have about 800, 900 yards this season and continues to look like. I mean, last year he was one of the 5 best tight ends in the National Football League. So, I mean, I guess best case scenario is he gets back to the 1,000-yard group and he's back in this. I mean, if he had 1,000 yards, he'd be top 20 again in receptions last season, just based on what last year's numbers were. This past year, he was 27th. So maybe our best case scenario is kind of the same with Travis Kelce. It's just you don't get beat by Father Time. You just continue to be this reliable, dependable, every single game out there. The Chiefs can count on you for 50 to 55 yards. You're going to have some better, some lower, but you play in every single game. You're a reliable player. That's the best case scenario.
I think talking through this, what we're describing is Travis Kelce's best case, and like he's probably the lowest ceiling, highest floor player the Chiefs have. That's kind of what I've learned in this process. Like his best case and his expected case are like the Spider-Man meme. They're very similar just because no one thinks it's going to bottom out. Like even if you're someone who's low on Kelce, you don't think he's going to turn into, a bum. But it's hard to imagine him being, Trey McBride again in the NFL, getting a 1,200-yard season. So I think he is correct for best case.
This feels like a really good way to end this segment. What's the highest rank you think the Chiefs can have offensively?
Top 5? I don't know if they can get to 1. I don't know if they have the weapons for 1, even in a best case year. But if Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, they can have a top 5 offense.
I don't think they can be a top 5 offense.
Not even in a best case scenario world? Because last year, the 5th best offense in the NFL averaged 27 points a game.
I'm trying to be overly best case scenario here.
I mean, I guess if you want to be like, hey, they're 8th, the Patriots had 26.5 points per game. Like, that's 26 to 27 points a game is a near top 5 offense. That's what I think they can do.
Yeah, I think best case scenario is probably like 7th.
Okay.
I think.
We're not that far off then.
It's like 7th. I mean, there's just some teams I don't think they're going to score more points than these teams. But, I mean, they don't got to be better than the Rams' offense. They don't got to be better than what I think Dallas's offense is going to be this year. I think their offense could be what you said. I think their offense could be good this year. Yeah, I would say maybe 6th or 7th, to me, is as high as I think it could potentially be.
Top 5 was the ceiling, but I think 5, 6, 7 is very much best case scenario.
Yeah, I can live with that. I got no issues with that. All right, that was our overly positive. I mean, we can keep going if you want. We can keep going. I just wanted to give you guys a segment of, hey, what if everything works out? If everything aligns itself, what could the Chiefs be this season? You know what? I enjoyed that. All right, coming up on the other side today, Russell Westbrook retired from the NBA. We've been talking about that. Rob, I also have another AFC parlay I want to share with you. Tell me if you think this cashes. Keep it right here. So drive.
You're listening to The Drive with prominent Mizzou fan Carrington Harrison.
I support Kansas. I want Kansas to win.
On 96.5, The Fan.
When it comes to my policy, Farmers gives it to me straight, so there's no surprises.
It's your coverage. You should never be confused.
You hear that? An insurance provider with a conscience.
We're a choir, but yes, we have that too.
Straightforward coverage you can literally understand. That's what you get when
you have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens, and you know baseball's back. BetMGM, the official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boosts, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB same-game parlay boost. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB Odds Boost tokens and MLB Parlay Boost tokens all season long. More boosts, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLERS. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
Hey, it's Bob Fesco. Are high-interest credit cards and rising bills stressing your budget? You pay every month, but high interest makes getting ahead feel impossible. Your home's equity can help. A refinance with Golden Oak Lending consolidates debt into one manageable monthly payment, giving your budget room to breathe. Get a free mortgage checkup today. Call 913-890-GOLD or visit GoldenOakLending.com. That's 913-890-GOLD. It's Golden Oak Lending, MLS 114937.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
If you're looking for a new job and to work for a great local company, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is hiring. Top pay in the industry, health, vision, dental insurance, paid time off, and advancement opportunities. Check them out at GannAsphalt.com. One contractor, all things parking lot.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This report is brought to you by CM Mose & Son, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical services. CMMoseandSon.com.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mose & Son. Coming to terms with a dying AC unit is tough. If you need to replace your AC, visit CMMoseandSon.com to schedule your free estimate. CM Mose & Son. License 202919. Terms and conditions apply.
Tune in for the Fan Club Fridays at 1 o'clock with Cody and Gold, presented by Circus Sports. Want your shot at $30 million in guaranteed prizes? Enter one of Circus Sports' premier football contests. Visit circusports.com for details. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We've got the crash that is 435 southbound, actually northbound as well. Both directions affected at 435. As you approach Midland, you'll tap your brakes through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you on this fantastic Wednesday. We were talking a little basketball earlier today. We can bring it back a little bit. Russell Westbrook has announced that he has retired as an NBA player. Rob, how do you think people are going to remember Russell Westbrook? Because it's a really interesting kind of career arc that he's had. On one side, he might be the most athletic point guard that I think I've ever seen. From just straight up end to end, get the rebound, go down to the other floor. I don't know if I've seen anybody like it before. But I do think, especially at the end of his career, he kind of became a punchline, Westbrick instead of Westbrook. He did seem very angry for the last 3 or 4 years that he was in the NBA. Do you think a lot of that is now going to go away now that his career is over? He played 18 years in the league. And in a sport in which your superstars are not going to play every single night, you never question whether or not Russ was going to play, if he was healthy enough to play, and if he was going to play 100% while he was there. How do you think people are going to remember Russ now that it's over?
I hope he's remembered as a guy who was always willing to ball out, great dunker, in-game dunker. He dunked with like a violence and broke Oscar Robertson's record for most triple-doubles in the season, or averaging a triple-double by the end of the season. I worry he's going to go down as a bust, not a bust, a guy who never won a title and is just stat-driven and more team-driven, because people are so cynical. I worry that's the end result.
Yeah, but I do wonder, and I'm not saying he was Allen Iverson. Like, I think Iverson's a better historical player than Russell Westbrook. But I do think, like, one of the best accomplishments or best compliments that you can give a player is, man, that guy just really played hard. Like, you might feel whatever way you feel about Allen Iverson, but there was no question that in his prime, when you sat down to watch the Philadelphia 76ers, you knew that you were going to get the absolute best version of Allen Iverson every single time that he was on the floor, that he was going to put on a show. He was going to score 30. He was going to have an exciting crossover. He was going to do something cool that made it the cost of going to the game. I kind of feel that way about prime Russell Westbrook, man. Even after KD left, you knew if you watched Oklahoma City, you knew that Westbrook was going to do something pretty amazing out there. Now, it faded pretty quickly, and the end came kind of fast. Like, once the end hit, it was over for Russell Westbrook. But that time from 2008 to 2019, I also think that Westbrook is just a part of those sports what-ifs. They had James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant in Oklahoma City. You remember that picture where it's all three of them, and they are standing there after they're about to lose to the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are about to win their first championship. LeBron's about to get his first championship, if I remember it correctly, like the Chronicle of Events.
It's his first one, yep.
And they are sitting there. I think all of us are thinking, oh, they'll be back. Oh, they got those three. They got Serge Ibaka. Like, this is the team that's going to stay together. That run was over less than a year after that picture was taken, after that moment was taken. They had really one more run after that, and that was kind of the end of it. James Harden is gone. KD leaves a couple of years later, and then that's the end of it. So, like, I think there's a lot of things I'm going to remember from Russ. I think you have to tell the story of the what if, how we all thought Oklahoma City was set up to be this dynasty. They're kind of the Orlando Magic of the 2010s, like kind of what Shaq and Penny were. They're kind of what that version was. He was a guy that was always going to play hard. He was a ferocious player when he was in his absolute peak.
I think also people forget, and I hope it's not part of his legacy, man, he and Durant had the 2016 Warriors on the brink in the playoffs.
For sure.
We all make fun of the Warriors for losing the 3-1 deficit to the Cavs, and we should. They're the best team in NBA history. They lost 3-1 deficit. They lost 3-1 lead. The Thunder with Billy Donovan and Russell Westbrook, the final year of Durant, it was working. Those guys were up 3-1 against the Warriors. Like, that was his best chance to win a title. I really hope he's remembered fondly, but society is so cynical nowadays that I'm worried he'll be viewed with an eye of, oh, it was just all stat stuffing, no winning, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, like this text right here, they had three individual players that can never be a team. That's not how I remember Oklahoma City. Like, I kind of remember Oklahoma City the same way I would think about the Spurs from this past year. You had a bunch of 22 and 23-year-old guys, and you were trying to beat a group of 28, 29-year-old guys. Like, yeah, that wasn't going to work. Like, that version of LeBron that they went up against, you could argue is maybe the best version of LeBron. 2011, 2012, Miami Heat LeBron, that's the guy when people talk about the greatest basketball player they ever seen. That's the version that they talk about. I kind of feel like over time, Dwayne Wade has been underappreciated for how good he was during his absolute peak, because in the prime of his career, he played with the best version of LeBron James. When Chris Bosh is your third option on that team, yeah, I think that was a team that just never really got the chance to get going. They never really got it. That once they all kind of got it going, it was over. James Harden went to go play in Houston and put up a pretty tremendous run. I mean, they really only had they had one more chance after that year they lost to the Heat. They had one more opportunity.
No, you remember Harden got traded. Like, that was,
yeah, for sure.
Remember, I think Durant was at, where was Durant? Was in the public eye when that news broke. He was somewhere, but I think that was ownership being short-sighted and making a mistake and breaking up what could have been a big three. And yes, they were always going to lose to that Heat team. That Heat team was so good. But I think they would have eventually overcame the aging. It would have been Spurs and Thunder in the West would have been a great battle every single year. But then they broke it up for Jeremy Lamb and Steven Adams.
Text line says, James Harden is on record saying he thought he would be the Oklahoma sixth man forever. That is not at all how James Harden has moved in his career. I think it was understandable that James Harden was ready for more opportunity. I think that James Harden was ready to be paid like a max player. And eventually, if you've been in the background for a while, I understand why he wanted to make a solo album. It's kind of what's happening with Jaylen Brown. Like, the NBA is not really hey, I'm cool being second fiddle, you know? Kobe one day was, hey, we can keep winning championships this way. I don't want to play on this guy's team anymore. I want my own team. So, yeah, I'm not mad at James Harden for wanting to go to Houston. I mean, I think he made the right decision in wanting to go to Houston. And Kevin Durant, I wish that Durant and Westbrook had stayed a little bit longer together. But from a basketball perspective, I've never faulted Kevin Durant for the decision that he made. I understand why he wanted to go play on that basketball team. Hey, look at this. Look at these guys that can space the floor. All I got to do is come in and hoop. I just don't think that KD was expecting the amount of backlash that it was going to get, that people were just not going to accept whatever championship he was going to win. KD has 2 championships and people treat him like he doesn't have one. I don't think he was expecting that level of backlash, especially when, that's when he was at the peak of his powers too. He was phenomenal those years in Golden State. All right, coming up on the side, let's get back to the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's get back to the AFC. I put the teams in the AFC in a little bit of a chart. I'll explain the chart. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive is always streaming live on our YouTube channel.
If you're a bad tipper, that's okay. You're all right. I'm not here to judge you for that.
Just search for 965 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We've got the crash that is 435 southbound, actually northbound as well. Both directions affected at 435. As you approach Midland, you'll tap your brakes through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
They say 40 is the new 20, and that's because guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s are walking around with the testosterone levels of their 20s. If you want that energy drive, the libido of your younger self, then go to Low T Center like the thousands of other men have. Go to fixmylowt.com and book your free T-test today.
The Advent Health Championship is Casey's only PGA Tour event. Whether you're a golfer or you just want to be part of the fun, family-friendly event, see the future stars of the PGA Tour at Blue Hills Country Club, August 20th through 23rd. Ticket information at adventhealthchampionship.com.
FanDuel is giving new customers up to $1,000 in bet resets. Bet $5 daily and unlock $200 in bet resets every day. That's right. New customers can place a $5 bet each day and receive up to $200 in bet resets, up to $1,000 total. Whether you're betting money lines, player props, or same-game parlays, FanDuel has you covered. Place your daily $5 bet and unlock up to $1,000 in bet resets. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel, your home for home runs. FanDuel is the official partner of the MLB and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present, Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Minimum $5 wager required for 5 consecutive days. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bet reset tokens. Refund from token issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $200 per day. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Look, let's be real for a second. When it comes to performance, good just isn't good enough, just like the teams that we cheer for, and that's exactly why Blue Chew raised the bar for you. Introducing Blue Chew Gold, the revolutionary 4-in-1 upgrade that targets both your brain and your body. Blue Chew Gold dissolves right under your tongue and starts working in as little as 15 minutes, so there's less waiting, more confidence, and a whole new level of readiness. And I've told you before, confidence is key. You know it the same as I do. Get started today at BlueChew.com and see why millions of men trust Blue Chew. Now, with a gold standard upgrade that's changing the game for good. It's not just about function anymore. It's about total performance, both physical and mental. They're turning bedroom performance into an Olympic sport, so go for gold. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. There's a special deal for you there. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code KFNZ. That's promo code KFNZ. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety info.
At Farmers, our honesty is contagious.
Wait, am I going to catch honesty?
Well, when you're with Farmers, it's kind of inevitable.
Well, how long does it take to... I lied to you when you asked if I knew what a deductible was. I don't know my dad's birthday, and I thought umbrella policies were for rainstorms. Actual rainstorms. I have it, don't I?
you don't just have honesty.
You have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate. Products not available in every state.
The best football contests are back out in Las Vegas with Circus Sports. $30 million in guaranteed prizes. No rake in any of the 3 contests. Circa Million, 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 ways to win. Or Circa Survivor. You pick one winner each week, the last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo with $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $30 million guaranteed. Visit circusports.com for details.
Telly Tire and Auto Center's biggest sale of the year is back. The tires at cost sale. That's right. You pay what we pay, plus mounting and balancing for only $30 per tire. Reserve yours at TELLEtire.com. Take care of your car. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
Back to school is here, and your life just got busy. Skip one stop on your to-do list with Hy-Vee online shopping. Order groceries on the Hy-Vee app or at Hy-Vee.com. Choose pickup or delivery and let us do the shopping for you. One less errand, one more win for busy families. And don't forget, Hy-Vee Perks helps you save even more with Fuel Saver rewards and exclusive deals. Back to school made easier only at Hy-Vee.
There's nothing like Chiefs game day, and whether you're hosting a crowd or keeping it low-key, you gotta be ready. Get everything you need for game day in one easy stop at Hy-Vee. Grab ribs, wings, party trays, dips, and those amazing Chiefs-themed cookies and cakes. Plus a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. They even have official Chiefs gear in every size and style for the whole family, so you're repping red on game day. Order online for pickup or delivery and let Hy-Vee do the shopping. It's a total game changer. Elevate your Chiefs game day only at Hy-Vee.
This report is brought to you by Go Car Wash. It's your time to go shine.
For a limited time at Go Car Wash, mention radio and get any wash for just $5. Yep, any wash. That's up to 80% off our best wash. Visit Go Car Wash today. It's your time to go shine.
Tune in to Cody and Gold starting at 10 as they broadcast live from Chiefs training camp with exclusive one-on-one interviews and real-time updates from practice. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, Rob. You know what I would like to do? I like to do 2 things in this 5 o'clock. We went through our best case scenario for the offense. Let's do the exact same thing for the defense. We can do that here in the 5 o'clock hour. I'd also like to go through this tier system that I've sort of put every team into in the AFC. Now, I did it a little bit differently. I think they fit into groups of concepts, of ideas. I do think the Chiefs are in their own group. I think they have to be in their group based off what they've accomplished in the past. I don't think you can put Kansas City in the same conversation as Buffalo or Baltimore or even New England that went to the Super Bowl. It is one thing to do it one time what New England did last year. It was impressive what they did. Regardless of how you feel about their schedule or how they performed in the Super Bowl, if you win double-digit games and you go on the road and you win the AFC Championship game and you go to the Super Bowl, you deserve a lot of credit for what they accomplished last season. But that's doing it one time. The Chiefs didn't just do that one time. They did it 5 times. Baltimore and Buffalo, they've done it 0 times with these quarterbacks. So I understand that Kansas City deserves a measure of the benefit of the doubt. And I think you guys expect Kansas City to bounce back and that last year was a blip on the radar and that things are going to return back to normal in the AFC. So the question that I've had this entire time with Kansas City is I think the Chiefs are in their own tier for this reason. If the Chiefs can hit their ceiling, by the middle of the season, they should be considered the favorite in the AFC. They should be considered the best team in the AFC, regardless of what these other teams are doing. Last year, none of these teams beat a good version of the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat up a broken version of the Kansas City Chiefs. Rice wasn't there. Worthy wasn't there. This thing was missing. This thing was a little bit off. We still haven't seen any of these teams go up against Kansas City when they were playing with confidence or healthy or playing well. So I think that's a fair question to ask. Hey, Denver, if you think that you're the best team in the AFC West, don't do it one time. The Chiefs did it 9 times. Don't just go to one Super Bowl if you're Drake May. Can you go to multiple? Can you rebound? Can you continue on that incredible level of play that you had last season? So I think tier number 1, the first team, the Chiefs have to be in their own category because you can't talk about the Chiefs the same way you would talk about Houston or the Chargers or the Cincinnati Bengals. They've earned that measure of respect based on how they've handled the decade. When you've been the team of the decade, you deserve to be in a different conversation than these other teams. I then think the second tier, Rob, is between Buffalo and Baltimore. Now, I think we're talking about 2 very good teams, new head coaches, new potential change of direction of where these teams could potentially go. But I think everybody will tell you these are good teams. These are teams that you expect to be there at the end of the season. They just got to prove to you if they can get over the hump. Can Buffalo put it together for 3 games in the winter, and can they find themselves in Los Angeles for the Super Bowl? Can Baltimore, who they've had the defense one year, they've had the 1 seed one year, they hosted the AFC Championship one year, they've had a lot of swings as well at the piñata. Still no candy for the Baltimore Ravens. So if the Chiefs are in their own category of prove it to us again, you are still one of the top teams until we just get more of a sample size on the negative side, I think it's a fair thing to ask Buffalo and Baltimore, hey, you guys have continued to come close, but you haven't broken through. Is this a year that you finally break through? I then think there's 5 teams or 4 teams. I think they're in that next tier. I think they're in the tier of show us again. I think that's Houston, Denver, New England, and Jacksonville. I'm not super high on Jacksonville, but yesterday, having the conversation with Ryan Green, he kind of sold me a little bit. Hey, they got Liam Cohen. They're happy they're flying in under the radar. The division's still bad. I mean, Jacksonville last year was a pretty good football team. And we're talking about an offense potentially that could take another step forward as a team. We're talking about an offense last year that scored a lot of points. Their defense was pretty decent last year. They dominated their division last year. I mean, there's things to like about this Jacksonville team. I mean, they were 6th in points scored last year. So, Rob, we talk about the Dallas offense and how Dak and all of these things. Jacksonville scored more points than Dallas did last year. So as prolific as Dak Prescott was and Javonte Williams and CeeDee Lamb and all those guys, Jacksonville scored more points than them last year. Only 2 teams in the AFC scored more than them was New England and Buffalo last year. So I think it's can those 4 teams, can they replicate it? Can Houston continue on? Everybody loves Houston. Even the text line loves Houston. And it's hard to impress the text line in another team in the AFC. You guys haven't been impressed by another team in the AFC in 7 years. This is the first team that team might actually be kind of good. We're talking about a team that I think they'll run the ball with the addition now of David Montgomery. They've got very good wide receivers, and they're getting Tank Dell back, a very good tight end, and they might have the best defense in the AFC. There's a lot of things to like about Houston. The question is going to be if their quarterback's going to live up to it. Denver's been good the last couple of years. All right, doing it once or twice is cool. Can you continue to prove people wrong? Because the pundits don't think they're going to be good this year. The pundit is also not a big believer in the New England Patriots. And I just told you about Jacksonville. Jacksonville gets treated like they won 9 games and they won 13 games. Jacksonville gets treated like they won 8 games and they won 13 games last season and won their final 8 regular season games. And then I think there's 2 more teams there at the bottom. I think it's the Chargers and Cincinnati. I don't think that anybody denies that those teams are talented. I don't think that Joe Burrow's bad. I don't think that Justin Herbert's a bad quarterback. I think Harbaugh's one of the best coaches in the world. I think that Zach Taylor's been a good coach for the most part. They got weapons. They got guys. They got names that you've heard of before. But do you trust those 2 teams to put it together? The Chargers under Justin Herbert, they've never really been able to put the full combination. They've never been able to put all the ingredients together. And I think it's a fair question for Cincinnati. Has the window just closed? Like Cincinnati to me has a lot of Detroit Lions vibes. The Lions 2 years ago, they were the best. Everybody loved the Lions. Look at this offense. You got Gibbs and you got Jared Goff and you got all these things. Lions missed the playoffs last year. So, okay, can you get all that talent together? Can you continue and can you do all those things? So that's how I have the AFC broken down. It's Kansas City in a group by themselves. They're still way more accomplished than any of these other teams. Can the Chiefs rebound and be the Chiefs again? Baltimore and Buffalo. I think we're all waiting to see if one of these teams can get over the hump and go to the Super Bowl. You got Houston, Denver, New England, and Jacksonville. 4 good teams from last year, but can you prove it again? Can you do it again? Because we've seen a lot of these teams be Johnny-come-lately. Remember Jacksonville 6-7 years ago? Went to the AFC Championship game. They had the number 1 defense. They had Jalen Ramsey. It was kind of over almost as quickly as it started. Tennessee was the exact same way. They went to the AFC Championship game. They had Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. That thing didn't really last for a very long time. That could very easily be one of these 4 teams. And at least for me, seeing is believing with the Chargers. And I got to see Cincinnati be able to put it all together. And I got to see if they're still that team. That's how I would break down the AFC right now.
Before we get to the best case scenario for the defense, I have one question about your tiers. You talk about seeing is believing. Does that apply to the Chiefs too? Because you have them in a tier by themselves, Super Bowl, they've done it, check, check, and check. They were none of those things last year. They were not even close to those things last year. They were the antithesis of those things last year. So if they are, I don't even say they're bad. If they're middle of the pack again, are they ever going to, is it fair to say they won't be back at the top mid-season? Because it feels like you have them at the top of the heap category by themselves based on accolades from 24 and beyond. But 25 would tell you they have already fallen off that perch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think that is an unfair thing to say about Kansas City. And that's kind of where I am. The point that I've been making these last couple of weeks has just been the Chiefs got to show it to me again. Like, they got to show me that they're the Chiefs still. They got to show me that they still have the ability to flex the muscle that they used to have. I think what you're saying is a very fair question, but I also think you and I would agree. Let's say that Kansas City starts off the year 6-2, for example. Let's say they start off 5-3. So they're right in the mix with these other teams. I think you and I will have a very similar commentary heading into the second half of the season. Man, this team's 5-3 and their defense hasn't really gotten going yet. Or this thing is, man, watch out. This team's going to be really good in the second half of the season. I think we and I think people are waiting for a reason to buy back into Kansas City, more so than thinking on the other side that the run is over. I think if the Chiefs give you any reason to believe that they're the Chiefs, I think you'll buy back in pretty quickly. And I think week 1 of the season, they got a chance to get you right back. If they handle the Denver Broncos, it will not be that hard to get people, see, I told you last year was a fluke. The Chiefs are back. Look, you guys were so high on the Denver Broncos. Look, they demolished Denver. That will be the sentiment if the Chiefs do what they're supposed to do in week 1. They're a small favorite at home. They should be a small favorite at home. It's a coin flip kind of game between 2 teams that seem a bit even. So, yeah. So I think more so about Kansas City than any of these teams. I think you're looking for a reason to pick them in the other way. Where I feel like, at least with these other teams, you're finding reasons of, oh, I don't like this thing. Oh, I don't like this thing. If Andy and Patrick give you a reason, you will be all in.
I'm just always leery of putting a team on a tier by themselves when it's based solely on legacy. Because legacy doesn't win games in 2026. And I think they can get back to that. I think they have a chance to show it, to your point. But having them a tier by themselves, I think it might be a little bit legacy-based and not actual data-based.
Someone on the text line says, man, Pittsburgh is always competitive. Maybe no Tomlin, though. There's not a single thing that worries me about the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into the season. Not a single thing. Not a one. I don't think that Pittsburgh will be bad. I don't think Pittsburgh's winning 5 games. I don't think they're going to pick in the top 10 this upcoming season. I don't think they're making the playoffs this year. I don't think that we look at Pittsburgh as being a legitimate threat or contender in the AFC. I think we've seen this Steelers team, this Steelers season, the last 6 years. We were just talking about best case scenario, and we'll get to it about the defense here coming up in a bit. The ceiling for the Pittsburgh Steelers is to win double-digit games and lose to Kansas City in the first round of the playoffs.
Or some version of the top team.
They win 10 games, they go on the road to Denver in the first round of the playoffs and get bopped upside the head. Or they go on the road to Buffalo and they lose 34-13. That's the best case scenario in my mind for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are not a threat. I would be very surprised if they were a threat.
Or they win their division, but then get beat by a superior team like a Kansas City. A Chargers are the wild card team, and they come into Pittsburgh and create all sorts of problems for the Steelers, even though they won the AFC North, which is basically what happened last year. They won the AFC North and then promptly exit stage right, go away. Like, that was the thought process with the Steelers.
I agree. All right, let's get to the defense.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for The Hits. Number 1.
Carrington, the hits are brought to you by our friend over at Jungle Law. Call the lawman today. Jungle Law is here to dominate all cases of DUI, personal injury, and criminal defense, plus sexual harassment. So call the lawman today, 816-816-9111.
All right, let's talk about the 3 layers of the defense and what we did in the 4 o'clock hour for the offense. Let's do that same thing here when it comes to the defense. Somebody texted in yesterday, Carrington, why aren't you more positive about the Chiefs? I feel like I've been pretty clear on the Chiefs. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to win double-digit games. I think the Chiefs will be good this season. But you guys want more hopefulness. You want more optimism. I'm here to sell it to you. What do you think the ceiling is for the defense? Let's take it layer by layer on the defense.
What layer do you want to start?
Let's start with the defensive line.
Okay.
Let's start up front. We'll go for defensive line. We'll go to linebackers, and then we'll move to the secondary. Let's go for their defensive line. I think for the defensive line, it is kind of the same point that you made earlier about Travis Kelce. It is that Chris Jones can he continue to be Chris Jones?
Karlaftis needs to get back to being Karlaftis too.
For sure. But for Chris Jones here, follow me. For Chris Jones, last year he had 7 sacks. He was a good player last year. Wasn't great, but he had 25 quarterback hits last year, had 12 tackles for losses. I know that he had some ups and downs last year. Chris Jones was a good player in year 10 of his NFL career with what the Chiefs were asking him to be, especially with all the other deficiencies that they had up front around him. So can he be the same? I'm still waiting for George Karlaftis to take the jump. Can George Karlaftis take the jump? George Karlaftis feels to me, he's the 8-9 win college football team that is always right there, but always loses that one game that they maybe should win that stops them from being in the real college football playoff conversation. He has not been bad at all so far in his career. He has not been bad. He had 6 sacks last year. He had 8 sacks. The contract is not an albatross for the Chiefs. He is a reliable player. He's been healthy throughout the course of his career. He's still very young, so there's still time. You know he's going to play 15, 16 games every single season. I got no issues with George Karlaftis. I think the hope was, when he signed that deal, was the reason you wanted to sign him to it early is when he became a star, you already had him under contract, and you were going to look at that as being a tremendous value for you. So to me, the ceiling for George Karlaftis is he's ready to take that next step, and he's ready to be considered one of the more dominant pass rushers in the league. He needs to be a guy that whenever you and I have on somebody from Houston or somebody on from Buffalo, and they're talking about the Chiefs defense and how they could wreck the other team's offense, we're worried about George Karlaftis, who has 7 sacks in his last 4 games and appears to be unblockable. It's been a while since Karlaftis has kind of had one of those stretches where he was an absolute terror up front. It would be great if he could do that. So I'm just going to go to me. That's the ceiling. That's at least the best case scenario for him.
I think the best case scenario is 12 sacks. He's been a 10-sack guy before in the NFL. That's happened. I believe it was 10.5. Once either 10, 10.5. I don't need you to take a massive step forward. You don't need to be a 15-sack guy. Can you be an 11 or 12-sack guy? Which they step forward when you've been in the league, but not some earth-shattering impossible number. If he can be a 12-sack guy, you can survive Chris Jones being a 7, 8, 9, 10-sack guy. You can survive an advance on the D-line if George Karlaftis is going to be double-digit plus type of sack player. He, to me, is what really the defense hinges on. I know everyone's excited about R. Mason Thomas and all those things. The D-line, to me, comes down to, can Karlaftis get back to double-digit sacks and take a little half step forward?
I'm with you. I mean, we've made the Max Crosby comparisons before and kind of what Max Crosby was. Now, Max Crosby just developed and then became, he became one of the best defensive players in the league. But, Max Crosby's first 3 years, he had 10 sacks, 7 sacks, and 8 sacks. He was fine. He had 12.5 sacks in year 4. He had 14.5 sacks in year 5 for Max Crosby. He turned himself into a star at that point. He turned himself into a household name at that point. that's kind of where we are right now in George Karlaftis' career. He's 25 years old. He should be entering his prime. That's what happened with Max Crosby. He's now 28 years old. He's 3 years removed from when he was an absolute beast in the league and wreaking havoc around the National Football League. That's what the hope is now for George Karlaftis. He is now entering his prime, and now he's just ready to be an absolute terror. And now when you put him alongside a guy like Khyiris Tonga and the hope and excitement around Peter Woods, people talk around Peter Woods like he could be Jalen Carter. Like, people talk about Peter Woods that in 3 years he's going to be signing a contract that makes him one of the highest paid defensive players in the history of the National Football League. That's what I think his ceiling is. If it works out, and you're telling me that in 3 years he turns into Byron Murphy, he turns into be one of those kind of players that is an absolute dog up front, I think that's the ceiling for Peter Woods, and I think that's what he can be. I think that's what the Chiefs see in him.
Someone on the text line makes this analogy. I think it's great. Can he be Tamba Hali? Because when you pull Tamba Hali's numbers with his time in Kansas City, his first 4 seasons, he was just okay. 8 sacks, 7.5 sacks, 8.5 sacks. Through 4 years as a pass rusher, Tamba Hali was a good player. Mm-hmm. He was basically an 8 to 9 sack guy. And then he became a great player. 14, great maybe stretch, but a really good player.
He was
14.5 sacks, 12.5 sacks, 9 sacks, 11 sacks. Like, there was a 4-year run there where
he was a guy that you had to game plan for.
He turned the corner. That's what he was saying.
He was a guy you had to game plan for. Nobody outside of Kansas City is talking about George Karlaftis. Can you get to the point where people are talking about George Karlaftis, and when they mention the Chiefs defense, he's one of the guys that you have to mention on the Chiefs defense? That's the hope. That's the ceiling for him. And I just mentioned it with Peter Woods. People talk about him like he could be Jalen Carter. So go be Jalen Carter. I'll say this about the linebacker room. I know we're talking about ceiling and hopefulness and optimism, and I'm with it. I don't really know if there's too much more from their linebacker room than what they already have. I would say out of any of the units on the team, you know exactly what they are in that room. I know exactly what Nick Bolton is. I've been watching Nick Bolton now for 7 straight years. Not just in Kansas City. I watched a lot of Nick Bolton play football. I kind of know what Nick Bolton is at this point. We've seen a lot of Drew Tranquill at this point. I don't think there's another step up the ladder with him. Now, Jeffrey Bassa, Cooper McDonald, those other guys, sure. But of all of the units, and the one we can spend the least amount of time on, their linebacker room is fine. I think you know exactly what it is. You know exactly what a healthy Nick Bolton looks like. And a healthy Nick Bolton is going to play a very solid middle linebacker, and he's going to get a gang of tackles, a bunch of tackles. You can live with that. Last year, he had a bunch of tackles last year. That was a lot more in line for what he was early on in his career. Nick Bolton had a very good season last year. He was a very, very solid player. Just be what you were last year. That's all I think you need Nick Bolton to be at this stage in his career.
Yeah, and also I would tell you, I agree with you. Linebacker is a very difficult position to judge because, I don't think tackles are a super important stat. For example, the best tackler in the NFL last year was on the Dolphins. You want to know why? Because they were getting run over, and he had to tackle the players everywhere. So just be what you've been, linebacker core, and no one will be upset. We talked about with Kelce, and you made the analogy earlier. It's a very low floor, low ceiling room. And sometimes that's fine. Just barring an injury, I know exactly what linebacker is. It has deficiencies. It has strengths. Spags, you need to make sure that the deficiencies are schemed around and the highlights are schemed for. That's the linebacker room.
I think the sky is the limit for the secondary.
I'm very high on the secondary.
I really do. I think the sky is the limit for them. Like, if you want to talk best case scenario, what's the ceiling? Mansour Delane can be one of the 3 best corners in the National Football League. I think he could be one of the 3 best corners in the league. I think that Patrick Surtain one day is going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think he is the best corner of his era. I think Derek Stingley is phenomenal. I think Witherspoon for Seattle is incredible. I think Mansour Delane can be in that conversation in the next 3 seasons. I think by the time we get to second contract time, we could be talking about him like that, where it's a no-brainer. I know the conversation's going to be, well, they never pay corner. Well, if you got Derek Stingley, you should pay him. If you got Patrick Surtain, you should pay him. And I will be on the side of you paying him. Noel Williams. The ceiling for Noel Williams is he just continues to be what the Chiefs are. The Chiefs, of all the position groups in which they have had their highest hit rate and their most success, it's players like Noel Williams. It is 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round corners. We take you, we build you up, and once you get to a certain point, we bid you farewell. We let you take an absolute bag from another organization, and we start the process all over again. That's the best case scenario for Noel Williams. To me, you're not living a world in which you are paying both of them. That's not how the Chiefs operate. So if Delane hits his best case scenario and Noel Williams hits his best case scenario, obviously that's great, and you got one of the best 1-2 corner punches in the National Football League. Well, you let one of them go, you do a sign and trade, and you take a guy who was a mid-round pick in Noel Williams, and you do a sign and trade, and then you get a 2nd-round pick for him, and then you turn that into his replacement, and you start the rookie contract all over again. So I really do think sky is the limit, at least when it comes to their corners and what they could potentially be.
I had names for it, but we're saying the same thing. I was saying Christian Gonzalez.
I can live with that.
Monster. That's a guy who is one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL, is still young. There's still ceiling. Defense had the game plan around, Christian Gonzalez is out there. That is Monster Delane. Especially early, because I think Gonzalez in his 2nd season. That is how I viewed him very early in the NFL. I don't really care about the safety position. Just don't be bad, I guess. Don't be where you were last year. But Delane and Williams, can you guys be Christian Gonzalez and Jalen Watson? That is best case scenario.
All right, coming up on the other side, we'll talk a little bit about the Chiefs preseason and how you want them to handle Patrick Mahomes. We'll get to that next. Keep it right here. So Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, let me tell you guys about my friends over at Gates Barbecue. They are celebrating their 80th anniversary. I actually had Gates for dinner yesterday. Got myself that full slab of rib, got myself some fries, seasoned those bad boys up. Let me tell you that all locations are now serving the Burnt E Mac. So it's some phenomenal mac and cheese, and they put some of those Gates burn in. You can just get that as a meal by itself, or maybe you get yourself a beef on bun and you get that as a side as well. Maybe you want some onion rings instead of fries this time. You can go both. You can get the split. You can go half and half. So you get half Gates fries, half Gates onion rings. You also don't want to miss out on some of their specialty items, like the one over on Brooklyn has the chili. They also got chicken wings at the one over on Main. I like to get the little wing pack over there. You get 4 wings, some fries. It's always a fantastic deal. Whatever your barbecue needs are, so whether it's going to the store, whether it's going to the grocery store, or going on the website, whatever it is, make sure that you check out Gates Barbecue.
Kansas City is buzzing this summer, and the excitement keeps rolling into August at the Advent Health Championship, Kansas City's only professional golf tournament, August 20th through 23rd at Blue Hills Country Club. Watch the next generation of PGA Tour stars compete for their shot at the big stage. Follow your favorite player, enjoy the action from greenside, or upgrade to an all-inclusive hospitality experience. With tickets starting at just $10, there's something for everyone. Keep your summer going. Get your tickets today at AdventHealthChampionship.com.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the last 2 minutes of a televised football game,
there's another timeout. We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate, or BPH, could be the cause. And Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Hi, I'm Jacob, your friend and an actual jeweler craftsman at Shane Company. I'm proud to work for a family business that's been committed to the highest quality standards for nearly 100 years. Your dream engagement ring is designed for quality every step of the way. We set your diamond by hand, not with machines. Prong tips are beautiful and secure, and intricate details are thoughtfully crafted. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend knows true love deserves the highest quality. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this,
What if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Fan Cash Fridays are here. Listen every Friday for your chance to win $100 in Fan Cash from Fanatics Sportsbook. Use Fan Cash to unlock unlimited profit boosts, exclusive merch, collectibles, and more. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 plus. See full rules on 96.5 The Fan contest page.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my run in PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We've got a big problem. Okay, it is 435 northbound. You've got a crash at Johnson. Also northbound, you've got a disabled vehicle, right lane blocked at Midland. Now 435, okay, southbound at Johnson. Left lane is blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you guys. All right, I want to play a couple of things for you. The first thing is, this is from Adam Schefter. He says there could be some looming suspensions.
Right now, there are some things going on behind closed doors that we don't have full access to that are going to have a significant impact on this season, depending on how these conversations go. And what I'm talking about is the potential discipline for a handful of players that we believe will be handed down, whatever it is, by the start of the regular season.
Rob, you wanted to talk about this because you think there's a chance that Rashee Rice is suspended for some portion of the season for what happened this offseason. I don't think so. I would be very surprised. I think a lot of that is Adam Schefter. Somebody told Adam Schefter that earlier in the offseason. Because you remember, it was just a random summer day, and then Adam Schefter said that the league is not expecting to suspend Rashee Rice. I would be surprised if now he ends up being wrong about this. Like, you got told this from either the Chiefs side, and they were told this directly from the league, or a league source told you that they're not looking at Rashee Rice anymore. So I personally just haven't really spent any time this offseason thinking that Rashee Rice won't be there week 1 or week 2 of the NFL season after we got that update from Schefter a couple of months ago.
I don't think he's getting suspended either, but that's just a weird thing for Schefter to say on his podcast, right? Like, there are things happening in the back offices of the NFL right now, and there are some rumblings that they could be suspending some players before week 1. Like, what players have gotten in trouble that haven't gotten suspended already? Like, what could be being discussed? What is Schefter referencing with this thing? It's about getting told something. Someone in the league office told Adam Schefter, we're having meetings about suspending players before the league year. And he didn't mention a name. I don't think Rice will be suspended either, but it's just a weird thing for Schefter to hint at on his podcast. Just it seemed odd.
I think the most likely player is Puka Nacua.
That's fair.
Like, if you're asking me right now, who is a player that they have not announced a suspension for, that they are going to announce a suspension for, it's Puka Nacua. There's only been 2 receivers who I think have maybe had a crazier offseason than what Rashee Rice has had. One was Jordan Addison, who just stays in trouble. So he might end up being suspended. And the other one is Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua there had 2 months of, what are you doing? That's a big reason why he hasn't gotten paid yet. Think about the season that Puka Nacua had and the money that's been passed out to wide receivers right now. He hasn't gotten that second contract. He hasn't gotten that big-time deal, and he's making mid-round rookie money. Yeah, the only reason why he hasn't been paid is because of the offseason that he had. So that's the player that I think they are talking about. I think they're talking about him. And I think we're going to get a tweet in the next couple of days. I think there's a very strong chance that Puka Nacua is going to miss the first 2 games of the season for conduct detrimental to the league because of everything that went on this offseason. He allegedly bit a woman. I don't know what he had going on back in February, but he was tripping.
Someone points out also Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Cooper had issues. I forgot about
For
both
sure.
of those.
And Terrion Arnold. Terrion Arnold is absolutely being suspended.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's going to be on a team first, but yes, you're right.
Absolutely.
It's weird shifting and putting names to it. Like, to the text line's point, those 3 players, we know they got in trouble. Just say the league is discussing ideas for Jonathan Cooper, Josh Jacobs, and Terrion Arnold. Like, there was a weird ambiguity on what Schefter was saying. I don't know. I liked that.
All right, I want to play one more thing for you. This was Jason McCourty. He was on ESPN's Get Up, and here's what he had to say about Mahomes potentially not playing in the preseason.
A big impact, and I think to what Gross said, what Andy Reid is saying, like, we've done everything at practice to keep him safe. As a defensive player, Spagnuolo, their coordinator, he's sitting in meetings, and he is threatening the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Do not touch Patrick Mahomes. Do not get close to him. If it means losing your rep, lose the freaking rep. So I think when you're looking at Mahomes, if he hasn't played in any preseason games and all he's done is practice, well, now when you get to that Broncos game and it's Monday night and there's 6 guys standing at the line of scrimmage and Vance Joseph, their coordinator, is bringing the house, does he trust his knee to spin out and get outside the pocket? How does he feel from a mental standpoint of being able to plant and drive the ball down the field when someone's falling
Could you
at his
simulate
knees?
that in a practice? It's just not. They're
You
not.
can't because you don't want to risk.
And you would tell your own team, we're never going to do
Don't
that.
get close. You know, Chris Jones knows as a defensive lineman, if we want to get to where we
Don't
want
touch
to
the
get
merchandise.
to, we need 15 out there on the field. We're not going to injure him in practice.
I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not. I would like for Patrick Mahomes to participate in some portion of the preseason. There's a way to do it smart. I would not play Patrick Mahomes in preseason game number 1. I would also not play him in preseason game number 3. But Patrick has always played some amount of the preseason. He's always played in some amount of the preseason. I would try to have him play a little bit of preseason football this upcoming season. I do think there is some value to what Jason McCourty is talking about. Live bullets and live rounds. And that's not something that you can simulate in practice. That's not the purpose of what training camp is. It is a very controlled environment in which you are, especially at quarterback, 100% safe. It's not really what football is. This isn't basketball where you can play really aggressive 5-on-5 that simulate what it's like to play in the NBA or a simulated baseball game. We're talking about tackle football. Now, I think you're smart about it. I don't think you're reckless about it. But if you look at the last handful of years, coming off being the face of the league, MVPs, and all of these things, they've always played Pat a little bit in the preseason. Last year, he threw 14 passes. 2 years ago, he threw 18 passes. 3 years ago, 17 passes. I think it's smart to let Patrick Mahomes play a series or 2 in preseason game number 2. See what he looks like in this new offense. Let him see what it looks like with Cyrus Allen in live situations. I think that can only help the Kansas City Chiefs. You don't got to be stupid about it, but let them go out there. Let them prepare like a game week. Let them run with the ones in a real game. Let Kenneth Walker be out there. I would treat that like a real series. Go out there and let's see what you can do. Hey, let's get ready for the start of the regular season. I would play Pat a little bit at some point this preseason.
I would do the same as you. I understand why the Chiefs are leery of it. I do think it's of note, and this is Mike Florio reporting this from Pro Football Talk. The other hurt quarterback will be playing in Week 1. Bo Nix will not play in the preseason opener, but the plan is to give him some reps in the second and third preseason game. So Sean Payton, also old school football coach, is saying, I want to give my guy a look at a different team at quarterback before Week 1. I wish Andy Reid were doing the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. You can game script to protect Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying you play him in Week 1 of the preseason and the first play of the game is read option. I mean, come on now. You can be smart about this, but I would prefer to see him out there, even if it's just 2 series over the course of 3 games. I would be happier with him out there because right now, I know you can only simulate a game speed so much, and I don't think training camp gets you close, and especially considering if you get near a quarterback, you get yelled at in training camp. That's not real football.
Yeah, I also think, I don't know if this is old school now at this point. I think not playing your guys at all at preseason is a bad way of preparing for the season. And when you think about the teams that start slow, why do they usually start slow is I don't think you took the August portion as seriously as you needed to take it. Now, to your point about Sean Payton being a little old school, last year, Bo Nix had 25 pass attempts in preseason. When he was a rookie, 30 pass attempts. Yeah, go out there, play a little bit, and let's be smart and let's be safe about it here. So, Bo Nix, my argument would be the exact same for Bo Nix that it would be for Patrick Mahomes to go out there and play football. You're healthy enough to do all of these other things. Now, be smart, and obviously we trust you, but I don't think that playing more football in August and just simulating the game speed, once you really get out there, I think it can only help you more than it can hurt you because you're already doing those things now. You're already running 11 on 11. You're already doing 7 on 7 drills. You're already running and jumping and cutting and doing those things. So you've already assumed that there's some amount of risk that you're taking on by playing football at this portion of the season. So let's try to prepare ourselves to be ready to hit the ground running. The Chiefs don't have Miami Week 1 of the NFL season that we can kind of talk about like a preseason game. No, I think you'd argue one of their most important games of the season is in Week 1 of the NFL year. If the Broncos come in and beat the Chiefs and they steal the home field advantage away from Kansas City, you are fighting an uphill battle the rest of the regular season to make up for the fact that you lost the home game against a team in your division that's pretty viable. So this team needs to be ready, prepared. You cannot start slow. They started slow last year against the Chargers. They started slow in the game against the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm focusing on starting fast and playing sharp football in September that we can ramp up from there. That would be one of my goals if I'm Kansas City. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
FanDuel is giving new customers up to $1,000 in bet resets. Bet $5 daily and unlock your $200 in bet resets every day. That's right. New customers can place a $5 bet each day and receive up to $200 in bet resets up to $1,000 total. So whether you're betting player props, money line, same game parlay, whatever, FanDuel has you covered. Place your daily $5 bet and unlock up to $1,000 in bet resets. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel, your home for the home runs. FanDuel is the official partner of the MLB and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 deposit required. Minimum $5 wager required for 5 consecutive days. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bet reset tokens. Refund from bet token issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $200 per day. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Lemonade! Fresh squeezed lemonade! Lemonade? Oh, nuts.
Is your business struggling to be seen? Not reaching the right customers?
Yeah.
Odyssey's here to help. Your one-stop shop for digital marketing.
Wait, really?
With targeted digital media, plus SEO, SEM, social, OTT, and more, we help your business reach the right audience and drive results.
Whoa, hey, one at a time.
Stop missing out on valuable customers. Visit digitallocalads.com to learn more about our local advertising solutions. That's digitallocalads.com.
Okay, people, line starts here.
I scream. You scream. We all scream.
Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Hellsberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They even knew your family by name. And the ring looks great. Anyways, I just couldn't wait to let you guys know. Call me back and wish me luck.
Hellsberg, designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Dane and Hughes here. I've seen a lot of stat lines in my playing days, but these numbers, they caught my attention. Flight by Yingling. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and all the crisp, refreshing flavor you want in a light beer. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, so you know it's got some serious history behind it. If you're into stats and taste, you're gonna love this beer. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Dane and Hughes. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
It's Chiefs season at Harrah's Kansas City. Every Saturday in August, the excitement kicks off at 6 p.m., where every 15 minutes until 10 p.m., one lucky guest will win up to $2,000 in free play. Then at 10 p.m., one grand prize winner will score a pair of Kansas City season tickets. Wear your red, bring your lucky game day spirit, and join us every Saturday in August at Harrah's Kansas City. Big prizes, big excitement. Don't miss your shot to win.
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Pay for client betrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Life's better in a Ford. This traffic update is brought to you by Shawnee Mission Ford. Whether you're headed across town or across Kansas City, enjoy the drive. This traffic report is brought to you by Shawnee Mission Ford. Visit ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Jaden Hicks, and the best man player on the team is me, of course.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Downtown, we've got the crash that's working at 70 westbound. As you approach Broadway, okay, one right lane is blocked. They've given you another lane to deal with, but just scoot to the left to get through here. That's going to be the secret. We've also got another problem that is 70 eastbound at 71. Looks like the exit ramp to 71 is blocked, so you'll tap your brakes through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Really excited to be here with you on this fantastic Wednesday. We got a lot to get into before we close off today's show. We appreciate you guys being here. We talked a little bit of NBA today. Why don't we just finish out our NBA conversation? Rob, is there anybody that hates the NBA more than old retired players? Like the text line, I don't think is a big fan of the NBA, and I get it, like I understand. But I'm asking you, do you think there's anybody that hates the NBA more than retired NBA players? Listen to Shaq.
You miss playing basketball still ever?
No, never.
Never?
Not against these cupcakes. They're all cupcakes. Write it down, tweet it, Instagram it, Facebook it, I said it.
Cupcakes.
To be fair, Shaq was one of the most dominant players
for sure
we've ever seen.
Okay, I'm just saying can you imagine on somebody on football night in America, just like, you know what, man, NFL today, soft. You don't never see this happen in other sports.
That's true.
You don't ever see the guy, come on now.
That's fair.
Shaq's on inside the NBA.
That's fair.
That's wild.
Is he wrong?
I mean, I love Shaq, but Shaq's the one that can question effort?
No.
What's the reason he and Kobe had beef?
He didn't question effort. He said it was a cupcake. Call him soft.
Okay.
You're telling me you throw the ball into Shaq, prime Shaq in the modern NBA.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't good.
He's going to put it on people.
Yeah, I'm with you. He was just he might be the most unique player in league history, though.
I think he is the most unique player in league history.
That's what I'm saying. He's the most unique player in league history. All right. That's one thing I want to play for you guys. We didn't get a chance to play this yesterday. This is, I wouldn't say it's a wild story, but it's something.
Police say this Phoenix man robbed his own workplace. Keandre Simmons accused of armed robbery and kidnapping, as investigators say he held 2 coworkers at gunpoint at this Scottsdale Shake Shack. He allegedly forced a manager to open the safe, took nearly $3,000 in cash, and then locked the victims in a cooler. Court paperwork says he then went on to destroy their phones and say the coworkers recognized his voice and knowledge of the store. Police arresting Simmons 2 days later when he showed up for his shift at the Shake Shack.
You are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contact with the alleged victims, witnesses, or complainants. You may not possess any weapons, even simulated weapons, while this case is pending.
Simmons is now held on a $100,000 secured appearance bond.
Rob. This man robbed his job. Robbed it. And then went back to work at Shake Shack. Help me understand. Because I don't understand. He didn't think the people that he had been working with recognized him. Like, Rob, in what world do you think that you could put on a ski mask, walk up to me at my car at night and say, give me the money? Rob, what are you doing? That's not Rob. What are you talking? Rob, I've seen you every day. Rob, take that mask off. This is something from White Men Can't Jump.
And then, by the way, he came back to work 2 days later. Can you imagine if I did that, just for the sake of it? I tried to.
You robbed me on Friday, and then you think you're going to show up on Monday? Hey, how was your weekend? I didn't have my phone because you had my phone.
You walk in the office, and I'm like, what you got this weekend? Let's talk about the show today. You'd be like, you robbed me on Friday. Nah, that was someone else.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what?
Also, the fact that they're like, he had intimate details of how the store works. He probably was like, hey, you take me directly to the safe, which is underneath the desk on the left side, and the password is 123.
Intimate details is hilarious. You only know that if you work here. You're not a general public. You're not a regular patron that has this information. I don't know where the safe is at Chick-fil-A. I would only know where the safe is at Chick-fil-A if I worked at Chick-fil-A.
I mean, I assume, like at Chipotle, it's in the back. That's my guess.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't walk back there and be like, take 2 steps to your left, underneath the desk.
Yeah. I mean, ridiculous. What a story. That's nuts. Robbing your job and then going back to your job. I mean, robbing your job is crazy, but I'm just going to assume if you rob Ace Hardware, that's you putting in your letter of resignation. Hey, where'd Bill go? I don't know. I haven't seen him. He just quit. You want to know why he quit? Because he ran off with your belongings is why he quit. You robbed and went back to work? That's not smart. That's not what I would advise. Not at all what I would advise you to do. Crazy. Crazy to your boy. I had a lot of fun today. Hopefully you guys had a lot of fun today. We'll be back tomorrow as we are getting closer to the Chiefs' first preseason game of the year. My name is Carrington. Rob was here. Rob, I appreciate you. We'll catch you guys We'll be back tomorrow. Take care of yourself.